Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto has golden wings council bashing. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by GODOFREADERS and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. The kid no bigger than 4'3" sat in a chair way too big for him. He had spiky blonde hair, dull blue eyes and 3 whisker marks that scared his cheeks. The kid, for lack of better words, was a mess. His clothes was torn and dirty, he looked malnourished, and the blue ninja sandals he wore were torn with holes in them. This kid was no other than Naruto Uzumaki Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tailed Fox. The Sandaime looked at the child in front of him, his cold brown eyes not even bothered by the appearance of the clearly in need kid in front of him. This thing was the cause of everything, because of him he lost the most important thing to him, his wife. He hated him, this boy has caused so much pain, maybe he should have let the council kill him like they suggested all those years ago. He knew that'll be the wrong thing to do, not because of his success or foolish dream of being looked at as a hero, but because the leaf needed the power of the Nine Tails. Even though they didn't show it, they lost a lot of power when the Nine Tails attacked. They were weak enough that even a small nation like Omegakure could win if they attack. The Sandaime knew this, so he intentionally let information leak that they had the power of the Kyuubi in their possession, completely squashing the thought of any invading force. "So Naruto-kun, what are you doing here?" Sarutobi asked. He still needed to keep up the appearance that he actually liked the monstrosity in front of him. Naruto's pale blue eyes looked at the Sandaime. He knew he hated him, just like everybody else. He didn't care, but he needed the old man for no. "Hokage-sama, I need a new apartment, I've been kicked out of the orphanage." Naruto's voice was calm and filled with coldness, a winter chill wouldn't compare to it. The Sandaime reached into one of the many drawers in his desk, pulling out a folder. He saw many different types of houses, he saw many beautiful small homes around the village. "No, a demon doesn't deserve luxury." The Sandaime kept looking till he saw a rundown apartment building in the more dangerous side of town. This part of the village was filled with people that lost their homes to the fox. They were sure to hold some resentment for the kid. "Perfect, I found just the place, little Naruto-kun," Sandaime said as he took out a scroll. With a puff he passed Naruto the keys of the house and a note to the landowner to let Naruto reside there. Naruto took what was offered to him and left the Sandaime office. Exiting the tower, Naruto headed to the place he was given. Walking, he noticed that the once beautiful houses turned to rundown stores and building. Naruto frowned. If he remembered this right, this is where the more crazy people lived. He's been here before. When he was 5, he was beaten to an inch of his life by some civilian that said he killed his friends and family, which confused him since he didn't recall killing anybody. He ignored the looks he received from the people, keeping his eyes down to ignore eye contact that would anger the people. Arriving at the designated location, Naruto took a minute to study the building. It looked completely busted. The tiles were missing, stains marked the red walls, and a weird wet smell escaped the wood. Naruto walked inside, finding a fat man wearing a white t-shirt. He walked up to the man. Naruto handed him the scroll the Sandaime gave him. The man immediately recognized the boy. His eyes turned cold and his posture became hostile. Taking the offered scroll, with a rude snatch he read the content and an evil smile graced his sick features. "Right this way, young man, my name is Ginkgo." He led Naruto up the stairs, leading him down a long hallway, stopping at apartment 4E. "This is where you'll be staying, enjoy." With an evil smile the man left. Naruto was getting a bad feeling about this. He went to open the door. He walked in and desperately tried to run back out. The smell that greeted him was disgusting, but not only that, his apartment was filled with people with a variety of different weapons. The old man betrayed him were Naruto's last thoughts. He was assaulted. Inside Naruto's subconscious, where am I? He looked around and noticed he was in a sewer of sorts. That wasn't what really got him. He was feeling 2 powerful chakras coming from different direction. They were both powerful, but one felt evil and hostile, while the other felt warm and protecting. When he looked left he saw glowing red at the end of the corridor. When he looked right he saw glowing gold. Choosing the gold path, Naruto walked towards it. When he got there, a door with the kanji will on the door opened. Walking, Naruto walked in. What he found made him step back. He was in a white room. In front of him was a beautiful woman. She had beautiful long gold hair, perfect D-cup breast, and creamy white skin. She was surrounded by pitch black fire. No, that would be an insult to the color of the flames. They were darker than anything he ever seen. The flames seemed to be around her, but not harming her. She also didn't seem to be affected by the heat. Naruto went to speak, he was cut off. "Tell me something, young Uzumaki, what is your dream?" The sudden random question caused him to look at her strangely. "I have no dreams, I have no goals, I got no reason to live but to suffer alone," Naruto said, his tone even, with just an undertone of sadness. The woman looked shocked by the answer, not because a kid said it, but because she could tell he wasn't lying. What will cause such a precious being to lose hope? "Come here, young one." Without hesitating, Naruto walked towards her and crossed the flames, never noticing the shocked look that went across her face. He walked through the fire. "You're strong, let me give you a gift." With that, her hands glowed white and gently touched his head. Naruto felt unimaginable pain, he felt his whole body on fire. "What have you done to me?" Naruto hissed out. "Simple really, I gave you some of my power, it's either a blessing or a curse, Naruto-kun, if you need me just call out my name," said the woman as she let out an angelic giggle. Naruto was slowly becoming transparent. "Wait, I never learned your name, how would I be able to find you again?" Naruto said. He was now being pushed by an unknown force. Just as he was about to disappear, he heard. "The name will only be revealed when your dreams become clear." What was that supposed to mean? When Naruto woke up, he realized nothing changed, people were still closing up on him. Their weapons ready when something happened. An amazing amount of power began to course through his body. A black outline traced his body, but that wasn't what stopped them. His eyes were now the symbol of the yin and yang. Who's first? Naruto noticed everybody stuck in place from the mighty killing intent he was displacing. Seeing nobody was going to make a move, Naruto rushed in and started a very vicious slaughter. After the brutal carnage, the power left him. Naruto was now covered in blood before he passed out. "Sukyun, that's your name," said Naruto as he once again appeared in front of the woman. "So you figured it out, huh? Well, what do you want to know?" she said. But this time, she snapped her fingers and a table with 2 seats appeared out of nowhere. Taking a seat, she motioned for him to do the same. Doing as told, he sat. "What are you?" Naruto asked. This was the most important question, seeing as nobody has a fire-wielding woman in their head. What am I?" "Well, I'm a woman, you know, we have beautiful eyes, big breast, a little thing called a puss." She was cut off as a blushing Naruto screamed. "I know that, you know what I mean." Laughing at the kid embarrassment. "Okay, I'm what you people call a phoenix." Naruto raised an eyebrow. He heard of the birds that burned themselves to a crisp, then rised from their ashes. He thought that was just a myth. She continued as he saw he wasn't going to say anything. "We lived on this land thousands of years ago. When human weren't around, we lived in peace with other clans till our rival the Dragon clan attacked and we entered a war that left me and my sister alive only because our father sacrificed himself to save us." Naruto let her continue, even though he was thinking, why did the Dragon clan attack? Who was this sister? And where was she? But most importantly, what happened to the Dragon clan? Seeing he would learn this eventually, he didn't bother to ask. "What was the power you gave me?" Naruto asked. He didn't just want to know what it was, he wants to know if he can use it again. She smiled, expecting this question. "That was called the Phoenix Flame. This is the first stage of the Phoenix clan fire style, it gives the user enhanced strength and better speed. But I was not aware that you were a descendant of the god Fudo." She looked at him funny. He was the one that gave the Phoenix clan the ability to be reborn in flames. The flames we now wield was only a small fragment of his fire. "I know this because your eyes took on the yin and yang symbol, something only he had. It said that with those eyes he was able to set a planet on fire, which has now become known as the sun. Legend has it that's where he is eyed, surrounded by the volcanic flames, waiting for the day his legacy will find him and bring the world to end just like him." Naruto's mouth was now wide open, his mind replayed what he's been told. Him of all people was descendant of a god, not just a god, the god of fire. "Now it's my turn to ask a question, what is your dream?" She smiled. She saw him contemplating before a grin came to his face. "My path is to completely eradicate the land of fire and put it back to its former glory when you and your clan were around. A new world where there is no hate and suffering, that's my path." Naruto finished his speech with unwavering confidence. Sukyun smiled at the path. "Okay, but to do that you're going to need help." Naruto looked at her before the yin and yang symbol replaced his dead blue eyes. "I need to get stronger, so for no we train." Sukyun smiled. He mentioned his path but not his dream. In another planet, fire surrounded a single person as his eyes opened, showing off his yin and yang pupil. "It's time." A booming laugh escaped the person's throat. 6 years later, Naruto was now 14, he has grown strong under Sukyun. He wasn't small anymore, now just above 5 feet, a little taller than everybody in his age group except for the abiram named Shino. He was on his way to the academy, he was, for lack of better words, the dead last, not because he was weak, but because he needed to keep eye on someone. Naruto traveled around the world, learning from different people, he even got to visit Sukyun's old home. Lost in thought, Naruto didn't realize he has already at the academy. He saw the different parents dropping off their children and scuffed before going straight in. Naruto clothes changed over the years, he now wore a black fishnet shirt under his jet black jounin jacket, only it didn't have as much pockets as one and had orange trims going around with a picture of an orange phoenix on its back. He had tight anbu-like pants that were tucked into his black ninja sandals. Naruto now had a tattoo that went from his elbow to his palm, nobody knows what it is or what it stands for. Naruto's attitude was the biggest change. He was quiet, giving him a deadly atmosphere. Nobody approached him or even looked his way. They were scared of what might happen. Last time that Kiba kid got to close, he was greeted with a brutal kick to the temple, leaving him unconscious and humiliated in front of a group of students. Naruto opened the door and walked up to Sasuke, taking a seat next to him, where he sat throughout the whole 4 years of school. They barely shared a word sync. They met the occasional glare, but that was it. Hey dead last, why do you insist on sitting next to the Uchiha? Are you too gay or something? This caused a series of laughs. Naruto only sign that he heard or even cared that he was made fun of was a slight turn of his head before a small flare of chakra was felt, and just like that the laughing stopped. Ino and Sakura arrived. They tried to push each other out the way. They were arguing about sitting next to Sasuke and Naruto. Both finally pushed through, arriving at their desk. Sakura spoke first. Naruto-kun, Sasuke-kun. They were the hottest boys in the academy, one being dark and mysterious, the other dangerous and wild. Naruto posture relaxed, signifying he let out a sigh. Looking to the right he said, "Naruto-san, what is your dream?" His voice was frigid and cold, but the question was asked like if he was really curious and really wanted to know. Sakura was taken back by the question. I want to live a happy life with Sasuke-kun and you. By then her eyes had hearts, and she was drooling. I see. Naruto said. Snapping Sakura out her stupor. You're not qualified to be a shinobi, and if I had a chance I'll kill you myself. Naruto said. Sakura's shoulders slumped and tears threatened to come out her eyes. The shinobi world is full of dangers. You can't trust nobody because the people you trust can flat out kill you once you turn your head. Sasuke felt uncomfortable after hearing that. Something in Naruto's voice wasn't right. It was like he was threatening someone. Each and every single one of us will become a shinobi today, but not everybody will survive to be a hero like the fourth. You all have dreams to become the greatest, but none of you have a clue how you're going to get there. None of you have felt pain, been stabbed, had to kill somebody. Some of you have felt the sting of losing somebody you love. Sasuke's body twitched. Some of you already know what you want to do and know how you can get there, but the question remains, can you reach it? If you plan to become a shinobi, Sakura, you must drop those silly ideals of being something now and become that something if you really want to become strong. Naruto said. The hidden message, don't trust nobody. Iruka heard everything Naruto said was surprised. Naruto's level of maturity was amazing. Walking into class, Iruka looked at the many faces and saw some kids were contemplating on what he said, while others looked indifferent. Smiling, Iruka gave the class a nice speech that was good, but was nothing compared to what Naruto just said. Okay, Team 1-6 is still in circulation from last year. Team 7 will be Haruno Sakura. Sakura ears perked at this. Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke. The three looked at each other before looking back at the teacher. Your Jounin sensei will be Hada Kakashi. Meet him on the roof. Naruto won't play a prank, so waiting just stupid. Arriving on the roof, they saw a tall man with a mask that covered half his face. He wore the standard Jounin uniform and gravity-defying silver hair. Kakashi took the time to examine the trio and sum it up to Fangirl, Emo and Naruto. Okay, let's introduce yourself. Name, likes, dislikes, dream. At the last part Naruto's body stiffened. That didn't go unnoticed by Kakashi. Why don't you go first, sensei? Spoke the pink-hair girl, whose eyes were still red from the crying earlier. Okay, I am Hada Kakashi. I have many likes, some dislikes in my dream. He finished, Kakashi giggling. Okay, you first, Pinky. My name is Haruno Sakura. I like sakura trees. My dislikes are anything not pink. And my dream is to. Sakura stopped as she realized she really didn't know what her dream was. Okay, Emo. My name is Uchiha Sasuke. I like my family. I dislike my dream is more like an ambition is to kill a certain man. Naruto looked at him from the corner of his eyes before going. My name is Uzumaki Naruto. I like Tsukyun. At this the goddess inside him blushes. The others were confused. Who's Tsukyun? My dislike, I have none. My goal is a new world order. At this Kakashi visibly tense. I wonder what that means. Putting that aside, Kakashi continued. Meet me at training ground 7 tomorrow for your genin exam. I thought we were already genin. Sakura asked. Kakashi I smiled. You see, I'm here to make sure that you are really ready to become part of the Konoha military. It has a 66% chance of failure, Jana. With that Kakashi puffed away. Naruto took a glance at his so-called teammates before jumping off the building, channeling chakra to his heels to soften the fall. What are you doing, Naruto-kun? Naruto heard Tsukyun through his mental link he developed with her after being tired of being asleep to talk to her. The time is upon us and I have to set our plans into motion. Tell me, what do you know about the first Hokage? Said Naruto. Tsukyun took some time to think about this. Absolutely nothing. She's been sealed away half her life. Naruto was quiet as he arrived at his house. It still looked like a big pile of wood shit. Walking inside, the atmosphere changed. Everything was nice and furnished. Over the years Naruto been steadily rebuilding the structure. The landowner from before was taken care of. He placed a gen just over the house for the civilian won't hear the signs of reconstruction. Walking into a well-furnished room. The room was large, Naruto actually broke down a wall to have the amount of room he desired. The room had a western-type bed, the sheets were gold and black with the same tattoo design on his arm, going from top to bottom. Walking up to a hidden compartment, which had a picture of him when he was little with somebody next to him, but the face was ripped off, but the person in the picture had the same tattoo Naruto had on his arm. Lifting up the portrait, Naruto pressed his hand into the wall before pumping some of his chakra into the wall. Instantly a ray of seals appeared around the room, ending with a picture of a phoenix, which appeared to be holding the bird down. Naruto looked at the print, it was the picture of a phoenix that was banned from the once mighty Phoenix clan. This creature was said to be the embodiment of evil. He caused a great deal of trouble for the clan. Why does Naruto have a symbol of him? Nobody knows. The rays glowed dark red before releasing a sizzling sound. Now in the middle of the room lay a sword. Walking up to it, Naruto grabbed it, feeling the slight burning sensation it was giving off. Looking at the design, Naruto's smile turned into a feral grin as he was mesmerized by its beauty. The handle was peach black with a phoenix design cut into it. The blade itself was just a little longer than a standard katana, the color of the steel was pure gold. Be careful, Naruto, you know what happened to the last person with this weapon. Came the concerned voice of Tsukune warning him about the danger of the blade. You see, that blade belonged to no other than Fudo himself. Anybody that has touched the sword before was quickly burned to death, but those who were able to wield the sword, they turned evil. She should know because it happened to her brother before he was banned from the clan. I can feel his power. It's really overwhelming, but I'm not one to give in to temptation. Placing the blade behind his back, Naruto left his home, not before putting everything back to the way it was. So where are you going? Tsukune was curious. Naruto can be a little unorthodox. We're going to the Valley of the End, came Naruto reply. Why? Said Tsukune. There's more into Hiroshima and Madara fight than meets the eye, was Naruto only reply before jumping off. Never noticing the red eyes following him. Valley of the End. So how long were you planning on follow me? Asked Naruto. He hovered over the water. The figure appeared behind him. Naruto didn't flinch at the sudden appearance of the man behind him. Turning around, Naruto examined the guy. He wore a black hamaka katana with formal sandals. He had the same tattoo as him on his left arm. So you finally came, huh? Grimmjow, said Naruto more to himself than anybody else. Naruto jumped in the air as a kunai flew by him, fully intending to end his life. Grimmjow, not wasting any time, punched Naruto in the stomach as he appeared in front of him again. Naruto's eyes widened from the unbelievable pain that coursed through his body. Before vanishing in a puff of smoke replaced by a log. Were Naruto thoughts. Naruto was now observing the man from the top of Madara head. Past possibly high Jounin speed, Chunin accuracy from the way he threw the kunai earlier. Thought Naruto showing his ability to think during battle. Jumping off, Naruto was smiling, finally a challenge to test his strength. Whipping out some shuriken, Naruto threw it. Grimmjow heard the whistling of the projectiles in the air before jumping to the left, taking out a throwing knife. He hauled it at the skybound Naruto. Naruto turned his body around for his head could be facing the water below, the kunai pass over his face cutting off a piece of his hair. Naruto watched a knife pass by before grabbing the handle of it, doing a complete 360, and using the momentum of his fall to increase his speed, he released the knife. It cut through the air at unbelievable speeds. Grimmjow, surprised by this act, whipped out his wakizashi to block the incoming weapon. With a loud clang, the knife was easily deflected by the stronger weapon. Naruto was once again in front of his opponent, crouching, taking a better look at the man's weapon. Naruto noticed that the blade was surrounded by what seemed to be wind chakra. Not good. You see, most of Naruto attack were fire-based. Using fire against wind wasn't really recommended. Naruto smirk. I see the organization still smart as ever. Sending a wind user to fight a person that relies on fire, but they forgot one thing, my flames are way different from the other regular Kaiten jutsu. He smirked as he whipped out his own blade. Nice blade you got, I can feel the amount of power coming out of it. Naruto looked up and saw that Grimmjow was looking at him with that weird smile of his. So you can in fact talk, said Naruto. In that whole practice round, the man did not speak, which was how it's supposed to be. When shinobi fight, they make small talk with the opponent to get their adrenaline pumping. Usually they did this by trash talking to make the other shinobi slip up. But when two opponents are silent, it shows the amount of strength they wield. For they have to think extra carefully, not knowing what is going to happen. This was strategic thinking to its fullest. Naruto, seeing he wasn't going to get a reply, got ready again. Channeling his flame that formed a shroud around his blade. Tell me what is your dream is. And cut. How do you like it so far? Should I continue it? Okay, now you have a taste of where I'm heading. Like I said, Naruto will not become strong overnight, and if you wondering, Naruto is now 14. I need a name for the dojutsu, please help, and if anybody wants to beta this, please PM me. Oh, I will explain his training during the 6 years later. Haha, this is going to be fun, keeping all of you on your toes. If you guess what's the story is going to be about, then I failed as a writer, for author should be able to let the audience know only what he allows. This chapter is kind of small, next one will be longer, around 8,000 to 9,000 words, don't dream on it. I'll try. I usually update every Saturday unless things come up. Beside that, on another note, Naruto plan won't be officially take place till Shippuden, but he should leave Konoha after the Chunin exam or the Sasuke retrieval arc. Sakura and Sasuke will not get bashed too much, they make it too easy. Naruto is for you to decide if he is evil or good. Pairing undecided, so for now I'll be a Naruto story. I make it seem like there are a lot of possibility with different girl, but don't expect a harem. We'll see you shadow out. Dreaming is for dreamers. Dreamers never amount to something. Grimjaw stated. I see. With that, Naruto charged. Both blades clashed, sparks flew in the air as the steel rubbed against each other. They stayed connected for a little longer, trying to outdo each other. Naruto was just a little weaker, so he was forcefully pushed back, receiving a brutal kick to the midsection that sent him crashing down into the water. Naruto slid across the water, pushing more chakra into his feet, trying to stop himself from crashing into the stone figure of the first Hokage. He started to laugh, finally somebody that can give him a run for his money. Naruto, not wasting any time, began a series of hand seals ending with tiger. Fire style. Great fireball jutsu. Forming a ring with his finger, Naruto placed it around his mouth, blowing a 7-foot size fireball. Seeing danger, Grimjaw focused even more wind chakra into his blade. In a slashing motion, he was able to cut the fireball in half. Naruto used the momentary distraction to appear behind him, going for a right hook. Naruto flinched when his fist was caught and he was flung over his opponent. Naruto righted himself in the air, Grimjaw was on him the next moment. Fast was Naruto's last thought. He was sent flying, crashing through the waterfall. Naruto was met with the unforgiving rocks behind the descending water, arching his back at the unimaginable pain that coursed through his body. Sliding down the rocks, Naruto splashed against the cold water. Grimjaw was, for lack of better words, disappointed. Why? This kid was said to be a danger to Thayer ghouls, then why was he so weak, being put out by a single punch? He turning around ready to walk off. He stopped when he felt a small shift in the air around him. Looking back, Grimjaw was shocked to see the water was bubbling. What really surprised him was Naruto. He was covered in black flames, they licked off him, forming a pair of black angel-like wings. Very cocky of you, just turning your head on a shinobi like that. If there was something I learned at the academy was to never. Naruto disappeared and was now behind Grimjaw. Ever underestimate an opponent. Even when he may seem down. Naruto twirled his blade in the air before putting it back in his waist. With a cling, it was back in position. Grimjaw's body exploded into a fountain of blood. The top half of his body was separated from the bottom. Naruto looked at his opponent before letting his flames vanish. He walked past Grimjaw's broken body. He gave it one last look before looking at a nearby tree. Naruto jumped away. Grimjaw let out a sigh. He was crouched behind a tree. He knew I was here, but why didn't he attack? Holding his side as pain struck him, blood was dripping from his fingers. Grimjaw smiled as he realized the implication of Naruto's move. He could have killed me if he wanted. Naruto was once again on top of Madara's head. Now where was I? Looking down, Naruto saw what he was looking for. The naked eye would confuse it for nothing, but Naruto was a different case. His eyes were not like the rest. He looked at the stone floor and smirked. Spread across the Uchiha clan leader head was a conjunction of seals. What could be so important that they'll decide to guard it with so many seals? Tsukyun asked. The amount of skill needed to perform these seals were off the charts. Even that guy Naruto told her about was famous for his skills in sealing could compare to this. Naruto ignored her for the moment. Sealing style. Release, Naruto said. He held his hand as a good amount of chakra began to charge. He was concentrating, whatever was hiding here didn't want to be found. Naruto gave a grunt and pushed the last amount of chakra into the technique. He jumped into the air using his wings to stay afloat. Madara's head lit up, the walls began to glow, the seals began to spread across the statue, some of them going up and down like it was scanning something. The glowing died down, and a sliding sound was heard as the top of the head opened up to reveal some steps. Stare, how cliché. Naruto landed back on the statue and began to go down the stairs. At the bottom of the stair, there was a door. Naruto saw a small inscription written across the wood. The moon glows, the sun illuminates, the planets observe, all acting like a prison. Fuck was that supposed to mean? Naruto went to grab the doorknob, he stopped. The reason he stopped was BQ somebody touched his shoulder. Well, that was strange, what really scared him was, he didn't sense anyone behind him. Looking over his shoulder, Naruto was surprised to find a kid. I wouldn't do that, said the kid. Naruto raised an eyebrow. Why? The kid looked at Naruto cold blue eyes without a flinch, before answering. You must figure out the riddle, if not it'll reject you. Naruto nodded. Reading it again, Naruto came to a conclusion. The moon glows, the sun illuminates, the planets observe, all acting like a prison. He paused for a minute. Exactly that, the moon can't glow if the sun wasn't there to illuminate it. Without the earth the moon will have nothing to shine upon. This poem uses these three objects in conjunction to each other to show that everything relied on something else. All acting like a prison. This was the hardest part to understand, but what are we but nothing but jail prisoners? We are unable to escape this world. With that, Naruto left the kid behind. He entered the room, closing the door behind him. The room was dark, maybe except for a single lantern that hung from the wall. Walking up to the only source of light in the room, he inspected the case that it shined upon. The case was made of glass, it sealed something inside. Naruto started to laugh before he reached and grabbed the object. In his hand was a little black book. After exiting the room, he walked right back out. Looking around, Naruto noticed the kid was no longer there. He paid no mind to it, he walked up the stairs. When Naruto stepped out, he noticed the sun has already setting and the moon was coming out. "So you did all that for a book?" Sukyun said. Naruto smiled. "Not just a book, the book." Not missing the emphasis on the, she was about to ask something else. Naruto jumped into the air, his flaming black wings spreading behind him. He closed his eyes. A second later, he opened them to reveal the yin and yang symbol. A huge explosion echoed around the facility, and just like that, the Madara statue was no more as it crumbled to the ground, causing the water to spread across the land. Naruto fled the scene, knowing very well that everybody in Konoha felt that and someone will come to investigate. Naruto headed back home with the idea of taking a well-needed nap. His team test was tomorrow. What does the future bring? Smiling, Naruto toyed with a book in his hand before he was enveloped in pitch-black flames, leaving no sign of him being there. Young eyes stared at what Naruto just did. Amazing. Was the kid last word. He faded away. Hidden village of Konoha. Sarutobi was again engaged in an unending battle with his enemy, paperwork. Stupid paperwork, it's like they never stop. Maybe I should go be Kazekage of Suna, they don't have enough trees over there to make paper like this. The third Hokage was deep in thought. He felt a chakra signature appear in front of him. Hokage-sama, the border patrol, felt a disturbance near the valley. When they went to investigate, they found the valley was in shambles. There isn't a Madara statue, it was completely destroyed or collapsed. After all, it's pretty old. There is no evidence to support the enemy was the cause or if there was a battle. We found a couple drops of blood near a bush, but it could easily be a wild animal, said the panda bear Anbu. Sarutobi eyes widened to the size of dinner plates, removing his Hokage robes, revealing his battle armor under it. Bring 2 platoons of Anbu. We heading towards the valley, make sure you take samples of that blood and try to see if it matches anyone in the village. Send a telegram to every village, I want to know any missions they taken near our borders. If they don't comply, tell them it'll be taken as act of war. With that, the Hokage jumped out the window heading towards the border. Arriving at the site, Sarutobi frowned, tightening his fist. Who could have done this? Did he know about what it contained? No, impossible. Search for any weird items. If found, please bring it to me immediately, Sarutobi said. Receiving a hi in return. Konoha same time. Naruto smiled as he saw the various ninja jump from roof to roof. Dumbasses. Walking into his house, Naruto left his ninja sandal by the door before walking in. Placing his blade against the wall, he was too tired to spend chakra sealing it. Removing his shirt to show off his muscular upper body. He had a six-pack, well-cut arms after years of hard physical training. Grabbing a towel from one of the hidden compartments, he wrapped it around his neck as he entered the bathroom. The sound of running water could be heard before somebody came out from behind the door. He almost caught me, came a kid voice. The kid took the time to look around and examine the building. Naruto had leather couches with cup holders on the arms, his home was carpeted, something not seen in regular Japanese home. A hallway that led towards a room and the bathroom, judging from the direction the running water was heard. The kid yelped, he saw a katana leaning against the wall. He walked up to it, entranced by the beauty of the blade. Just as the kid was seconds away from touching the handle, he froze. He heard something that made his blood run cold. I wouldn't do that. The kid slowly turned his head. Naruto was wearing a towel around his waist and his hair was loose, easily touching his shoulder blades. You see, it's not what it looks like. The kid began. Doesn't matter, go take a shower you reek and put on the clothes on. I left you some in my room, then come back here for dinner, said Naruto before walking off. The kid stared at where Naruto was before doing what Naruto told him. When the kid came out, he was wearing some jean-style shorts, a green shirt with a phoenix bird on the front. Walking to the source of the nice aromas. The kid's stomach grumbled as he saw the biggest meal he ever seen. Are you just gonna stare? Join me, said Naruto. He was already on his seat but hasn't touched the food, knowing how rude it'll be to start eating without his guest. Nodding, the kid said. I did Akamasu. Saying grace for the food they dug in. The dinner was quiet. Naruto didn't want to speak, the kid. Well, he was scared shitless of Naruto. "So, why did you follow me here?" asked Naruto. He was really curious, of course, he knew he was being followed but didn't care, not feeling any bad intentions, so he let it slide. "Why, you see, you're my idol." The kid stuttered out. "I see." With that, Naruto appeared behind the kid, his blade sticking out the kid's chest. The kid's eyes widened for a minute before melting into some weird goo. Naruto nodded. "So you're a ninja," more of a statement than a question. "And if I am?" said the kid. He was now hanging upside down from the roof, his head right above his. Naruto said nothing before looking up at the kid. "Why shouldn't I kill you?" said Naruto as his hand tightened around his blade. "Because, you know you can't. Let's face it, without me you did all of that for nothing." Naruto's eyes narrowed. "What? You think you can get the book and boom, everything is settled? You see, young Uzumaki, I will be here to see if you're the right person to wield such power." Naruto's eyes didn't show any further emotions, cutting the kid head off. He was met with the same results as before. "You sleep in the spare room, it's down the hallway." With that, Naruto left. He was in need of some sleep since he did have a team meeting in the morning. The kid smiled, also leaving to sleep. Inside Naruto's mind, Naruto walked back down the all-so-familiar corridor. He stopped, Naruto looked back and saw the faint glow of red again. Naruto kept walking, repulsed by the killing intents that whatever was on that side was giving off. Arriving at Tsukuyo's room, he entered. Walking up to her, he was a little surprised when he was punched back into the wall. "That's for keeping me out, Loop, I want to know everything. Now." Tsukuyo said. She wanted answers and he was going to give it to her. "That was too much, don't you think?" said Naruto. He peeled himself away from the wall, shaking himself off, getting the dust off his clothes. He took a seat in the same chair he did all those years ago. He motioned for her to come closer, just like she did to him. Walking up to Naruto, she sat down, her face showing her impatience. "Well, what is that book? Why did that guy attack you? If you forgot, I can't see shit when I'm in here. All I can do is talk, and talking while you're in the middle of a fight isn't really smart, right?" Tsukuyo was now shouting. Naruto looked at her. He can hear the distress in her voice, but it wasn't aimed at him, but something else. "Not the book, he said. She gave him the dirtiest look he ever saw. "This book holds a secret, the secret is so great not even the gods know of it." The gods began to grow scared of what was inside and gave it to the Senju clan. They hoped the clan could protect it, but not everyone was on the same page. The story everybody knows about how the shinobi world started were nothing but lies created by the gods. You see, there was a sage of the sixth path, he did have a strong dujutsu called the Rinnegan. The power he wielded was highly overestimated. Naruto was looking at her, his cold blue eyes watching her every expression. Wait, if there was a sage, why was his power so overestimated? Did he not invent ninjutsu? "Who stopped the 10 tails?" Tsukuyo asked, finding it hard to believe that everything she knows about the world was a lie. "I don't know. That's why I got the book, everything I want to know is in this little black book," Naruto said. Tsukuyo's sweet drooped. "So why haven't you read the thing? How hard was it to open the book?" "I can't." Tsukuyo palmed her face. "Why?" Just as she asked, a boy appeared right in front of both of them. "I would be the reason." Faster than the kid expected, Tsukuyo slammed the boy against the wall, doing a replay of what she did to Naruto earlier. "A little excessive, don't you think?" said the kid. He peeled himself from the wall, shaking himself off, getting the kinks back into place. "Who are you? And how did you get in here?" Tsukuyo asked. The kid didn't respond, instead he began to look around before looking out the door to where the red light was glowing. "Interesting." The kid walked right up to Tsukuyo, going through the flames like if they weren't even there. "You know, it's a little rude to attack a person when you got no idea their level of skills. I could have killed you," the kid said. He said it completely calm, but the intent his words were filled with were enough to get the message across. Naruto was watching the whole altercation calmly. If you looked closely you'll think he didn't care, but if you felt what was happening, you could tell Naruto's anger was slowly rising. The fact that his eyes were different told the whole story. "Please, refrain from such comments. I wouldn't want anything to happen to you." The kid smiled before nodding and sitting down. "Why can't he read the book?" you ask. "Well, because I don't find him fit to." The kid answered her earlier question. Tsukuyo tilted. Why did Naruto allow this kid to tell him what he can and can't do? Explain, why does Naruto need your permission to open the book? Naruto took this one. "You see, Tsukuyo, the reason I can't read the book is because this little guy right here is no other than Kami-san herself, right?" Naruto smiled at the shock that went across the kid's face before turning into a warm smile. "Oh my, I didn't think anybody will be able to tell it's me. Tell me, how did you find out, Naruto-kun?" The kid's voice turned to a beautiful mature lady. The boy glowed for a minute before revealing herself to be a gorgeous woman. She was wearing blinding white kimono that was open in the front to show her whole front body. She wore black shorts with a white skirt over it, a white blouse that ended right under her breast. Naruto took a better look, she had C-cup size breast, being a god you think they'll be bigger. She had a kanachi build, showing off her well-tuned muscle flat stomach and a nice little butt to top it all off. You know little Naruto-kun, I created you. I'm like a mom, why are you checking me out? Naruto cheeks reddened a little, but as soon as it came it left. Instead of trying to embarrass me, you should explain why are you here. Don't you got godly things to take care of? Kami giggled at this. Yeah, being a god is nice and all, but I haven't came to Earth since I created it all those years ago. I never expected for you to evolve so much, but hey, I'm not one to get involved, but you interest me. Naruto eyebrows perked up at this. Did this woman really thought he was just a game for her to have an interest in him? I interest you? How so? You're different from the rest, tell me why do you want this book? You know what it's capable of, and I know your intention leads far from it, so why? Kami asked. Because, what is this world but nothing but a dream? Kami was riddled. Naruto, seeing she was confused, continued. Tell me, Kami-san, why did you create us? Kami looked at him strangely. Kami eyes widened as she realized she didn't have a reason, she just did it because she could. So you doing all of this because you can? Naruto smiled but shook his head. Nope, I have a reason. Naruto said, his disappearing no. You could hear the soft beeping of his alarm clock. Can I know what that reason is? Naruto woke up to the same voice as earlier. You're becoming way too annoying. Come on, she was with him everywhere, it was getting way too uncomfortable. Well, get used to it, Naruto-kun. Well, breakfast is in the kitchen, get ready, you don't want to be late for your team meeting. Naruto's response to that was to grab her neck and slowly squeeze it, letting go when she was purple. Naruto got up, entering the shower to freshen up. Arriving at the table, Naruto ate. His breakfast consisted of bacon and egg with some toast, with a glass of orange juice. She wasn't such a bad cook. Finishing his small breakfast, he went to his room to put on his clothes. Entering his room, he noticed his clothes were already picked out. There was one big difference, his genin flak jacket had a new design. Angel-like phoenix wings were stitched to his jacket. Putting his clothes on, Naruto strapped his katana to his back. Walking out the room, Naruto was surprised to find Kami waiting for him at the door, already dressed in a similar manner as him. Only hers had angel wings in the back only. Where do you think you're going? Asked Naruto, already knowing the answer. Where do you think? With that, she started walking in the direction of the training field. Naruto sighed before jumping after her. Training ground 7. Sasuke was laying down on the floor. He was looking at the sky with a frown plastered on his face. You could tell he was thinking of the Uchiha massacre. Sakura was, for a lack of better words, doing nothing but looking at Sasuke and smiling, probably thinking of all the sex they're going to have when they grow up. Naruto didn't bother, sitting down next to a tree, leaning his head on the bark. His body rested last night, but his mind didn't. The body is important, but without the mind the body is nothing. Dozing off, Naruto entered the land of dreams. Kakashi arrived and smiled as he looked at his team. Walking up to them, he got really close to Sakura's ear without her knowing and yelled, "Yo!" A loud scream echoed around the whole forest. Naruto got up with a jolt. Before anybody knew it, Naruto was grabbing Sakura by the throat, squeezing it as if he was trying to destroy her vocal cords. How can someone make such a horrible sound? Naruto's grip got tighter. Sakura by now was turning a purple. Kakashi rushed to save her. He grabbed Naruto's arm and began to apply pressure. That's enough, let her go. He said. Kakashi gave Naruto an evil stare, which was returned. You know, Jounin-san, how are you going to defend us in the field? When you are incapable of defending one of your students? Said Naruto from behind him. Naruto was holding Sakura on his shoulder a couple of yards behind Kakashi. That won't be a problem. Your skill level far exceed what I was told, are you hiding something? Said Kakashi. He appeared in a swirl of leaves a couple of foot away from him. He was holding Sakura over his shoulder. Naruto raised an eyebrow at this, he noticed the weight on his shoulders shifted and he was now carrying a sack of potatoes. Maybe, but on with the test. Naruto began to walk away. Kakashi's eyes narrowed a little. Naruto was becoming too much of a loose cannon to trust or even be placed in a team. This is something he should bring up to the Hokage. HN, what are you hiding? Naruto. Sasuke jumped off from the branch he was on, joining his teammates. Okay, before everything went downhill I was about to tell you what we gonna do today. Kakashi took the time to look at his team. He saw a mixture of reactions. Sasuke showed his normal indifference, but you can tell from the gleam in his eye he was curious. Sakura was looking over at Naruto with fear. Naruto was the hardest to read, he showed no signs of even caring, but Naruto's eyes will wander over to the bridge every now and then. Today we'll test your combat skills. All three of you will attack me, your only goal is to take these bells from me. Kakashi showed them the silver bells on his belt. The only rule, no killing teammates. The others knew this was directed at Naruto. Again. All of them disappeared excluding one. Kakashi was confused, he knew they weren't stupid enough to take him on alone. Sakura was standing in front of Kakashi in a very wrong Konoha taijutsu stance. How can she mess up the village taijutsu stance? Guy will be so sad, what have these kids become? Why didn't you hide with your teammates? Kakashi asked. Come on, it wasn't every day a fangirl will want to get her hands dirty. I want to prove myself to my teammates that I won't be a burden and that I can indeed provide something for the team. Sakura said with as emotion as she could. Baka, I stayed only for Sasuke-kun could save me, then I'll brag to Ino Pig about how Sasuke saved me from their evil sensei. Kakashi read through the obvious lies and was ready to squash every single one of them. Sakura raised her fist, ready to punch her sensei in the face. Kakashi sighed. Her stance was all wrong. Her hand was turned the wrong way, which meant that she was going to break her hand if she hits anything solid. Her left leg was lifted, meaning she was unbalanced, and instead of using her left arm to block any counter-attack the enemy might have, she had it limply on her side, leaning all her weight into one punch. Lesson 1, Taijutsu. With that, Kakashi began to make her pay for everything she was doing wrong. Bending backwards, letting the fist pass over him. Kakashi easily used his right leg to kick her planted leg off the ground, with one leg in the air and the other being kicked right from under her. Sakura was going straight to the ground. She felt like her intestines were being hit by a brick wall. Sakura looked down, she saw Kakashi's knee firmly planted in her abdomen. Sakura slowly began to get back up, she fell back coughing and spitting some blood. She crossed her arms in front of her as Kakashi did a heel drop where her head was formerly. She jumped to the right and took out a kunai. She used Kakashi's unbalanced position to her advantage, going for a stab. Kakashi saw this and using his speed he managed to escape. He appeared under her with a kick to the chin that sent her into the air. He learned this technique from eyes wide and not expecting this, her body felt paralyzed and the pain in her head was becoming too hard to stay awake. Where was Sasuke? She closed her eyes ready for the inevitable. Sakura heard a loud clang. She opened her eyes to see a black blur standing in front of her. "You're pathetic, Sakura," came Naruto's ice-cold voice. Sakura's eyes widened. Why? Naruto just saved her, but she was in for a rude awakening when Naruto turned around. A roundhouse kick to her temple that left her knocked out on the floor. "That's it, the test is over, you broke the rule," Kakashi said. Naruto tilted his head to the right at this. "What do you mean? I haven't broken any rules," Naruto countered. "You just attacked Sakura, that attack could have killed her or left her critically unable to be a ninja. If she would have landed wrong," Kakashi retorted. "That's where you're wrong, I did hit Sakura, but that's it. I hit Sakura, not a teammate." Naruto gave a smirk. "Like you said before, we have not become an official ninja group. Meaning, we have not officially become teammates, therefore making your rule invalid and useless. In this situation you got no choice but to continue the test," stated Naruto. "So I guess you're here for the bells," Kakashi said. He settled himself into a taijutsu stance. Naruto examined his opponent. Kakashi's knees were slightly bent, meaning he was ready to attack or move out of the way. His fists were positioned almost perfectly, one was pointing towards him, the other was more relaxed. The keyword being almost. Everything has a weakness, no matter how much you practice a technique it will always have a flaw, and he found Kakashi. Naruto was about to take advantage of that flaw till he looked over his shoulder and saw Sasuke diving headfirst at Kakashi. Oh well. Naruto stood still, standing right there, not moving a finger. Sasuke performed the fire jutsu and Naruto complimented the intensity of the flames. He tried not to gag when Kakashi purposely let Sasuke touch the bells. Why did Kakashi lean to the right on purpose? Did he want the Uchiha to think he had a chance? Ignoring the obvious child spoiling, Naruto looked back at the fight just in time. Kakashi appeared under Sasuke and buried him till only his legs remained. Seeing his opportunity, Naruto vanished, appearing next to Kakashi. Naruto snatched the bells from his waist and jumped away. Just in time too, the bell went off. "I got careless," Kakashi said. "Okay, since Naruto managed to get both bells, I will have to send both you two back to the academy," said Kakashi. Naruto frowned. If he let him do that, then he'll end up failing his promise to that man. "I don't think so, Kakashi-san. You see, I have already figured out the point of the test. I just wanted to see my team combat abilities, just like you." Naruto tossed Sakura a bell, she was still knocked out under a tree. Then he passed a bell to Sasuke that bounced off Sasuke's forehead. Kakashi nodded. Naruto walked away. Kakashi called him back. "I like to see both you and your little friend hiding over there at the council room in 30 minutes, Hokage orders." Naruto's eyes twitched. "Why the council?" "So Naruto-kun, who's this council I hear about?" came the sweet voice of Kami. Naruto looked at her. "You'll meet them soon, it seems somebody been spying on me." With that, Naruto walked in the direction of the tower. Kami wasn't satisfied with the reply. "What do they want?" she asked. "They're going to ask me some things. But what they really want to know is, who are you?" said Naruto. He would have ignored the question, but he didn't want her nagging him the whole way back. "What do you suppose we do? Are we just going to tell them that I'm the supreme ruler and creator?" Kami said. "The truth." With that, Naruto sped up. You're such a simple boy, Naruto. With a giggle, Kami followed. Catching up to him. Give me a name. She told him. Naruto looked at her strangely. Why? Shouldn't she pick her own name? On the other hand, calling her Kami all the time was a little annoying. Thinking over it, he smiled before saying. Hokage, that's perfect. Naruto said, Kami eyes widened before smiling. What a nice name. Destruction. Boom, Silver. Oh my god. To be continued. Hey Silver. Why are you so fucking annoying, yelled a small voice. Silver dropped the controller. Getting up from his couch. Who said that scared? You imbecile, why can't you make me good? Always the big bad wolf, you skinny bastard. Do I look evil to you? I wear orange not black and am awesome. Silver looked to his computer screen and saw a figure was moving before it jumped out and popped out of his computer. Is that you, Naruto? And about being awesome, that a matter of opinion. Anyways, how you get here? This ain't a Omic. No, who else? The goddamn tooth fairy who told you character can only appear with the author and Omic, spoke Naruto. It's in the rules of fanfic reader paragraph 4, bullet 7. Pulling out a book from who know where here Ed. The character can't be in the same place as the reader unless the reader it's in the story or in the Omic. Spoke Silver with a book in front of him. With big gold letters that read. The holy grail of fanfic reading. Let me see that book. Snatching the book, Naruto read the print. You son of a bitch, fuck you and every other fanfic readers, you people got no life. Silver raised an eyebrow at this. So you want to go back to Kishi? I'm sure he will make a great lemon scene with you and the Uchiha. Naruto paled. On second thought, how about we get on with the story? With that, Naruto took a seat, picked up the controller before turning the flat screen TV on. Where do you got the Asian porn? I don't watch porn. Sorry. Silver. Naruto eyes twitch. No porn? What kind of M-rated reader don't watch porn, said Naruto. You see, I'm not that good of a reader to begin with, maybe you can write the porn scene. Silver. I can't write about myself, it's unethical. You better find out what you gonna do. People want the good stuff. Well, they going to have to wait. Till I feel like reading it. Maybe I'll put you with Sakura or better Hinata. You wouldn't dare. Oh, but I can and I might just will. Said Silver. Naruto put a kunai to Silver fun parts. If you put me with that timid bitch, no hate on Hinata, just me being me. Or that crazy pink unnatural hair girl, I will castrate you for free. Silver couldn't speak as he was fainted from the thought. Okay, Silver went to sleep so he won't be able to introduce this chapter, so I'll do it for him. Naruto went through Silver laptop finding the files he needed. Voila, found it. Okay ladies and gentlemen, oh and Lady Gaga. Introducing. The Sand with the Storm. Really, what is with this Silver guy and his title Hidden Meanings? Naruto turned the channel to a place called Monday Night Raw. Sounds interesting. He watched as music lit the stage and green light flashed. Before a man in skin-tight underwear came out with a X in the front. He doesn't got porn, but has this gay hentai shit. That's it, I'm out. Said Naruto before jumping back into the screen. Team 7 was gathered in front of the Hokage after retrieving the daimyo wife cat, well Sasuke and Sakura, since Naruto made it very clear that he doesn't like cats. Last time he was supposed to capture her, half the forest was covered in flames. Nobody wanted a repeat of that time. The Hokage looked over the team. Had a Kakashi A-class ninja, most powerful Anbu Captain Konoha ever had excluding Itachi, had the potential to be a great candidate for Hokage. Has great skills in each arts. A complete ninja, but he had one problem. That will be his downfall, regret something that can cost anybody no matter how good, to lose concentration, and in that instant he will be killed. Sad really, but that's the world we lived in. Uchiha Sasuke, last of the Uchiha clan. That he personally ordered to be eliminated. A prodigy, he wasn't expecting nothing else from the kid after all. How else will he get enough power to defeat him if he didn't push himself? Sarutobi smirked. The kid was easy to manipulate, but for now he will let him get used to being a normal kid before he will put him through special training to become his successor and rule Konoha with an iron fist just like him. He had good ninjutsu, average, no doubt, from the Uchiha scrolls they left behind. Taijutsu prefers using the lion stance that relies on fire jutsu and speed. He had mediocre at best genjutsu, but that will change once he activates his sharingan. Sakura Haruno. At this the Sandame sighed. This was what the ninja world was coming to, weak little girls with fantasies only care about boys. But he will be lying if he said she didn't have potential to do something. Sarutobi looked up and saw that the civilian girl was doing nothing but looking at the Uchiha with heart for eyes. On second thought, let's just hope she doesn't get killed. The last thing I want is for that council bitch hollering at me. Uzumaki Naruto. A great ninja, had the greatest possibility of becoming Hokage. But he had a hidden agenda way too big to be left alone. He knew whatever that was did not favor the village in any way or form. Had great ninjutsu, above average genjutsu, something he thought will be almost impossible for a kid with so much chakra, a master in the kenjutsu arts, maybe even better than his Yugao. But from what he can tell, Naruto must have good taijutsu if he could use a sword. Naruto, even though he will never fight anyone in hand-to-hand combat, opting to end a fight without a fight. Okage-sama Team 7 here reporting for duty, we have caught the cat and wish for another mission. Spoke Kakashi. Another mission you say, very well then I have many D-rank missions you can take of my hands. Sarutobi. No. We want a higher mission. Yelled out Sakura. All we have done these past 2 months is chase a cat. What kind of village is this? She finished releasing a huge breath. Sarutobi narrowed his eyes on her. How dare this little bitch demand something from him, did she think I was her friend or perhaps her mother? Just as he was about to tell her off, he was cut off by a ninja walking in. The ninja handed the Hokage a golden scroll with a small seal on it. Hiruzen eyes widen, these scrolls were only sent in times of war, they were written by the other Kages themselves. Hiruzen opened the scroll carefully, after all it can be a trap. He read the contents inside and raised an eyebrow before smirking. Well Team 7, today's your lucky day, you have been assigned a mission, for Tomorrow. Go home and pack for a 3-week-long mission, you will be representing the village, so don't do anything stupid. Dismiss. Kakashi, you stay. While the members of Team 7 left, Kakashi frowned, he wanted to catch up on some reading. So what's the mission about? It has to be important if you sending this team. Emphasizing that this more likely for Naruto and what he holds. Well, a minute ago I received a message from the Raikage, he wishes to team up against some guy named Gato, he would send one of his genin tomorrow morning. I want you to outstage their sensei, and whatever you do don't let Sakura fight, she will no embarrassment to the village. Matter of fact, let me take her off the mission. Iruka, go get me another ninja please. Kakashi started to sweat. Don't be so hasty, Hokage-sama. How about you let her go, I'll be a great experience for her, maybe she will snap out of this fangirl mentality. Rushed Kakashi. When he saw Sarutobi think and nod, he released a sigh. Breaking up the team wouldn't be right for teamwork. Okay, but like I said, she better stay away from the fighting. Now you're dismissed. Sarutobi. Kakashi left the office with a lot on his mind, like that new book he was going to read. Giggling away. I wonder what Mimu-chan has in store for Luffy. Naruto apartment. Naruto was now in his private workout room. It had anything a regular gym will have, many dumbbells, a couple of places for bench presses. Naruto was currently lifting a bar, it read 300 on each weight. Naruto has been discarded his shirt showing off his well cut up body. This was the scene Hokage walked into. She blushed when she saw Naruto half-naked body. She was a bit surprised he could lift that much without the application of chakra. Not wanting to bother him, she sat down and watched him work out for a while. Naruto finally noticed he had company, he turned his body towards her that was currently dripping sweat from the hard workout. Didn't you say you was my mother and shouldn't look at me like that? Hokage blushed at Naruto twist of her words. Damn, Hess hot, with those broad shoulders and sexy sculpted body, stop it Kami, bad goddess. Dosh, but anyways, I overheard what Kakashi and the Hokage talked about. Hokage stated. Before they left the office, Naruto gave her a silent message to spy on them from her hiding place in the shadows. After all, a ninja needs information to survive. And what did they say, Naruto? Well, it appears the Raikage wants Konoha help in defeating a man named Gato. Your team will join one of their shinobi teams on a joint mission. No other information on which team will be sent, but Sarutobi wants to outstage them. She was cut off here. Becky's Naruto joined. So Sakura off the team, yes. Yelled Naruto, he hated the bitch. No, unfortunately Kakashi didn't allow it. She smirked. As Naruto smiled disappointed. It's okay, that means you get to show people a fraction of your power. And this mission can work in your favor, maybe you can gain some new allies, after all nobody can do stuff alone. Naruto thought this over, he did need allies if he was planning to make enemies. Okay, but first you need to tell me what I need to do to read the book, Naruto said. If he wanted to proceed with the plan he needed the book. I can't do that. Responded Kami. Why not, what is in this book that you are so hell-bent on protecting it? Naruto questioned. You would get the book when your dreams become clear. What is in the book? I don't know, people fear what they don't understand, that pretty much sums up everything. Kami finish. My dreams are clear. Naruto said. Are they? Kami questioned. Naruto ignored the question, before walking away he needed a shower. You can't keep running away, Naruto, nobody could do something alone. Beckwith, then you will fail, everything relies on something else. Beckwith, you got power doesn't mean you will win every fight. The path you are going towards ain't the right one, and you know that, but you keep going deeper into it. Naruto was by the door listening. Without a reply he walked out, closing the door behind him. What does she know about me? She never been hated or discriminated against if she was in my position. But she has a point, I don't know what my dream is. I thought I did, but I don't. Or maybe that is my dream to not know it. Fuck it, I think about it later. I reek. I'm writhing from my iPad so it's harder, but it got spell check. So I guess it's good. Naruto let out a sigh as the warm water relaxed his aching muscle. He smiled before unimaginable pain coursed through his right arm. He saw his tattoo was glowing red. This happens almost every day. Since he left them the pain was bearable at the beginning, but it kept getting worse as time went by. That was 6 months ago. He knew what it meant. They was coming for him soon. They have already made their first move when they sent Grimjow. I can't keep running, they'll catch up eventually, but for now there's other things to tend to. Naruto said out loud. The pain died away before getting off the bathroom floor. He removed his towel and entered the shower. As he walked to his room, Naruto thought about what he has accomplished these last few years. He thought about the first time he left the village, how he ended up in Iwagakure no Sado. Never going there again. They seem to think very bad of outsiders, but I think they don't like people altogether. Or the time he let her go. At this, Naruto's mind wandered off. Flashback. Naruto was crying heavy tears as he let the rain fall on him. In his lap he cradled a blonde woman's head. She had beautiful sky blue eyes that were going pale as the minutes passed by. Don't cry, little Naru-kun, there was nothing you can do, run before he comes back. Said the soft voice. Naruto nods at what he was told, but the tears didn't stop. I was useless, everything I learned from you was for nothing. She looked up at his ocean blue eyes. Not true, if you would have fought you would be in my position, something I wouldn't be able to stomach. She told him, trying to counsel the kid. Naruto looked at her, she had a huge gash coming out her side, you could see the white of the bone. Maybe if I was stronger you would have survived. Cried the weeping child. Tell me something, Naruto, what is your dream? Naruto eyes widening. I don't know, sensei. Said Naruto. Feeling like Hess disappointed his mentor. I see, well you have your entire life, my dream didn't come to me till I met you. You want to know what that dream was? Naruto nodded. To make you something great, I won't be able to do it, but how about you inherit my dream and become something great that the whole world will remember? She finished with a big smile on her face. Naruto looked at her, would she really let me do that, accomplish her dream for her? Don't worry, sensei, I'll make you proud, no doubt. After all, what is life but nothing but a dream? She looked at him and gave him a graceful smile. I know you won't, but my time is up, Naruto, maybe we see each other later on. With that, the light faded from her sky blue eyes. The explosion echoed through the landscape. Naruto looked up and came face to face with the bloody sharingan. Only one thing went through his mind. Kill him. His eyes replaced by the yin and yang symbol, only instead of being white and black, they were bloody red and gold. Flashback end. What do you think of me now, Anami-chan? Naruto said. Looking up. With that, he kept his stroll towards his room. Maybe he should get some sleep. Naruto was in his room when he heard the doorbell go off. He was saved from opening it when Hokage yelled out, I'll get it. Naruto crawled into his queen-size bed, fully intent on getting a good night's sleep, even though it was only 4 in the afternoon. Naruto, there's somebody at the door here to see you. I think she said her name was Sakura. Tell her to fuck off. I'm in no mood for nonsense. Naruto yelled out. I advise you to go. She seemed really troubled, almost like she didn't want to be here, but wanted to at the same time. Naruto gave Hokage a long stare that unnerved her. Getting up from his bed, he grabbed the kimono on the side, wrapping the silk fabric around him. She better have a good reason for being here. When he reached the living room, he was surprised to find Sakura sitting on the couch. His eyes twitched. Who let the bitch in? I'm going to kill her. So Haruno-san, you need me? He asked. Not bothering to use her first name, after all that was only for people that were close, something that was extremely far from. Oh yeah, Naruto-kun. Naruto eyes twitch at the honorific. Me and the other genin from our class thought that it'll be a good idea to go out tonight, you know, Becuous of today's special meaning. Sakura said. What special meaning? He really wasn't that good with Konoha history. That and he just didn't care about it. You kidding, right? Naruto stayed silent. Didn't he just say what was the occasion? Obviously he didn't know. Well, today is the day the third great ninja war ended. People usually go out and celebrate. Seeing no reaction, she continued. Well, I got to go. If you planning on going, be a Chowji dad barbecue 7 o'clock. With that, she showed herself out before she stopped at the door. You know, Naruto, you should go, after all we are all friends, right? Naruto raised an eyebrow. None of us know you that well, and it will be a great way to get to know you well. Got to go. I need to go see Sasuke-kun and tell him the news. With that, she ran out, closing the door behind her. So a celebration, huh? I got the perfect thing for you to wear. I need to go out. Do you know where there are any fabric stores? Of course not, you boy. What makes you think I'm attending? After all, today's the day that man gets talked about. Naruto said. Of course you going. From what I've seen, you don't get invited to a lot of things, plus I'll be a great way to analyze your future enemies. Finish Hokage, already putting her cloths on. She walked out the door just to come back 3 minutes later. I forgot something. Naruto sweet dropped girls. With that, she walked back out. She's right, Naruto-kun, these people you going to meet now may be a great hindrance in the future. Naruto sighed, not her too. All he wanted was to go to sleep. Tsukune was surprised on how quick Naruto's attitude changed. Yes, Naruto-kun. How do you feel about being locked in there? It ain't bad, but I would love to see the real world for myself sometime. she said, her voice low at the end. I see. But that Naruto walked to his room. He can at least get an hour and a half of sleep before going to that celebration. 1 hour and 30 minutes later, his mental alarm clock went off, which meant Hokage was in the house and she was looking for him. Getting up, he frantically looked for a place to hide. He dived for the empty closet, but it was too late. She grabbed his leg just as he was inch away from paradise. "No. I found you, Naruto-kun. You wasn't trying to hide from little old me, right?" Hokage said happily. "Yeah, and Spider Pig can swing from a web." "Boo, not important. Now can you get off me?" Hokage complied. "I got you the perfect outfit for today," she said, reaching into her bag he didn't know she was carrying. The first thing she took out was a pair of black sandals, only they looked more leather than the normal ones. She also pulled out a tight-fitting Anbu pants. A light blue kimono with a gold phoenix hugging the back with the wings appearing in the front. She also got him a black mesh shirt. And she changed the color of his headband from blue to gold, and the plate, instead of being silver, was black. "You outdid yourself with this one, Kami-san," said Naruto, inspecting the garments. He took the clothes and walked into the other room to change. When Naruto got out of his changing room, he was surprised to hear laughing coming from his living room. As he walked to the source of the noise, he was a little surprised to see the boys from the 9 rookies that graduated from the academy waiting for him. He took a minute to inspect them. Shikamaru Nara from the Nara clan, known for the intelligence and tactical skills, maybe possibly be the most dangerous out of the group, given the fact that he thought things over. He was wearing a black and white kimono that had the kanji for lazy on the back. Under that he had his usual fishnet shirt. He wore regular black shinobi pants that were tucked into fighting tape which reached his ankle right before touching his white ninja sandals. Taiji Akamichi, from the Akamichi clan, known for their great physical abilities and for having many chains of restaurant and in the demolition corps. He was wearing a grey kimono with red trims going down the back. Like his friend Shikamaru, he also wore regular fishnet under the kimono. He had grey pants on that were tucked into his blue sandals. Shino Aburam, from the Aburam clan, he was wearing the same as always, only difference was he didn't have his Konoha headband on, which made his hair frame his face like bangs, making him look a little more mysterious. Had good tactical skills but depended too much on his insects to become too much of a power. Kiba Inuyasaka, from the Inuyasaka clan, they was known for their superb tracking skills, but their inability to give in to animal rage was a great asset but also their biggest weakness. He was wearing a purple kimono which he left open with bone pattern on it. In the back he had an imprint of a paw. He didn't wear nothing under it to show off his well-built body. After all, the Inuyasaka clan was always known for their physical training. He had black hamaka pants on, giving a kind of samurai look with black sandals. Kiba can become a problem in the front line after he hones his skills. Sasuke Uchiha, from the Uchiha clan, known for their mighty sharingan that can see Thorage and Jutsu, copy ninjutsu, and predict slight taijutsu, a big package in one, may be the most dangerous in the group power-wise, but he thought Sasuke will stay with Konoha, but even though he couldn't predict the future. He was wearing a crimson and black kimono with a sharingan 3 tomo desing of his back, a black undershirt with a red belt tied around his waist, black Anbu type pants that looked to be a little silky, obviously cost a lot. He had crimson and black sandals, with the bottom of the shoe being black and the top red. He saw that during his brief change, Hokage had put some chips on the table for the guest. Where she got chips from he had no idea. He saw Choji and Kiba arguing over which barbecue flavor was the best. "I'm telling you, Kiba spicy is way better than sweet and sour," Choji yelled out, with Kaiba quickly denying it. Shikamaru was looking around the house a little surprised Naruto had actually lived in a place so nice. He looked at a flat screen TV hung on the wall, the leader couch, with a marble coffee table in the middle, the fish tank in a corner which contained some type of weird ficting Japanese fish. Even though he was impressed, his face expression didn't change, from the serious bored look he always had. That what made him so dangerous. If it wasn't for the fact that his pupil moved a little every minute, he would have thought he was doze out. The weird Aburam kid was just sitting on the couch, not looking at nobody or even paying attention, but if Naruto were to guess, he was talking to his hive from the small buzzing coming off the boy. Sasuke was leaning against a wall with a foot raised, looking right at him with his charcoal eyes meeting ocean blue. "So he noticed me. Impressive, really. Are you just gonna stare at us the whole night, or are we going to get this thing over with?" said Sasuke. He broke the silence with that sentence. Everybody looked at Naruto, who was standing by the hallway. Nobody noticed him before. They saw his choice of clothing and all thought the same thing, excluding Sasuke, who could care less. He cleans up good. "My apologies, I didn't know I had visitor," said Naruto. "Well, the girls made us come and get you. So hurry up before they start bitching about us being late or something," barked out Kiba, already heading towards the door followed by the rest. Till only Naruto and Sasuke remained. "Naruto, what are you hiding?" asked Sasuke. There was something off about him. "What makes you think I'm hiding anything? The way you talk and act is different than before. You're like a whole different person." "Don't look too much into it, foolish Otato," With that Naruto walked out. Sasuke was surprised to say the least. He sounded just like him. Walking out and closing the door behind him. Akimichi barbecue. The boys arrived just in time to see the girls walking through the entrance. Kiba called out to Hinata as she was in the back. The girls all walked out at the mention of the Hinata names. As they walked out they was surprised to find all the boys outside. They started to drool as they saw what the boys were wearing. Hinata almost fainted when she saw Naruto dressed like that. How his gold hair hung loosely to his shoulder beckless of the absence of his headband. She was just about to pass out when her shoulder was giving a tight squeeze by Ino, who saw what was going to happen. Ino's mouth was a little slack too. When she saw what Sasuke was wearing, she wanted to rabish him right there and then. The way his bangs framed his face. She couldn't help but let her eyes wander to Kiba open kimono showing off his six-pack. Sakura had hearts in her eyes when she saw what her Sasuke-kun was wearing. But Naruto didn't miss how her eyes fell upon him as well. The boys weren't fearing well or not even Sasuke can deny that the girls no woman in front of them was glowing tonight. Sakura was wearing a pink kimono with green sakura petals to match her eyes. She was wearing a small skirt under it, which was getting a lot of the attention from the boys. With small pink heels which raised her a little off the ground. Naruto took the time to study the others girls after completely disregarding Sakura's state of dress. Hinata Hyuga formed the Hyuga clan known for their all-seeing eyes and style of taijutsu called Gentle Fist. She was wearing a small blazer which only reached her belly button. It was open at the top to show off some big cleavage, which made him have to cross his leg to not show the small dent appearing in the tight black pants. She wore leather leggings that reached her ankle which showed off a small round ass. She was also wearing heels, lavender ones to match the blazer. What happened to being shy, thought Naruto. Hinata saw Naruto look at her and smile. She now knows he likes what he sees. Moving on. Inu Yamanaka, from the Yamanaka clan, great information gathering skills. Inu was wearing a purple nightgown which covered the breast, but not a perfect flat stomach, which had slits on the side to show off her legs. You could also see a small amount of cleavage form the blonde girl. She was wearing heels which were purple. She had let her hair flow to her back. This made her blue eyes pop out. Her round face was beautiful. Get to the point, Naruto. Taking a huge breath before letting it go. He looked to the boys to see their expression. Kiba had cloth his kimono and was folding over his private region. He wondered why Choji didn't have much of a reaction due to the fact he was looking at the barbecue people were eating through the window. Shikamaru looked impassive, but the small blush every time he looked at Ino told a different story. Don't worry, pairing aren't decided yet. I'm just making possibilities hang in the air. Sasuke was trying his hardest not to blush, which was failing since he kept looking at Sakura's skirt before looking at the ground. Okay, ain't you all a little too young to look at each other like that, spoke a familiar voice. All the genins next snapped to the small market building to the left to find all of their sensei on top of it. The boys didn't bother to change clothing, but Kurenai almost made all the kids pass out. Wait, make that one of them pass out as Kiba fell to the ground with blood gushing out his nose. Kurenai was wearing the same color dress as before, only this one was way more revealing, showing off her well-firm breast, her long tuned legs, her hair was flowing to her side in front of her. We should go in. Don't you think, kids nodding, and after 20 minutes of trying to wake up Kiba. As they entered, none of them missed the weird look the receptionist gave Naruto. That's weird, Lady Michi is always good with customer. I don't know why she looked at you like that, Naruto. Said Choji. It is of no importance, let's eat. Responded Naruto. Everybody forgot the occurrence except for the adult who frowned at Naruto quick dismissal of the matter. They all took a table as far away from the adults as possible, since Ino thought the adults will ruin the fun she had planned for them. What's your deal, Ino? Why are we so far in the back? I saw this hot girl with a mini skirt on that way. Spoke Kiba. He had the perfect plan. He was gonna sit in a place that will face her. Then he was going to pretend he dropped his spoon, and then he was going to bend down, he was going to take a small peek. But now all that planning went to the trash. It won't be fun with the adults looking at us. Plus. I got an idea. She said. When they were sitting down. With girls on one side and the boys on another. Waiting for the waitress. After a couple of minutes a woman came with a menu for each. What can I get for you? Spoke the waitress, which seemed to be in her mid-20s. Ino took this time to put the plan into motion. Oh yes, we'll take some Taylor wine. And 4 bottles of the finest sake. At the mention of alcohol the woman raised an eyebrow. They seem kind of young. Can I see ID? Inu reached into her bag and pulled out her Konoha headband. At this the woman nodded and went to fetch the drinks. Man, being a ninja was cool. So your plan is to get us drunk? I can't drink, my parents will kill me. Stated Sakura. Everybody else didn't care. Choji was against it, but he wanted to taste what his parents consider the drinks of te gods. Shikamaru just thought it was troublesome. Abiram, well, he wasn't thinking much. Sasuke could give a fuck, he drinks a glass every now and then from the Uchiha vault. Naruto raised an eyebrow. Drinking, that was all. When the woman came back with the wine and the sake, she placed the bottle on the table before giving them their saucers. So we are all going to take shots after shots till we get drunk. Whoever loses pays the tab for the expensive sake and wine and whatever Chaoji eats. Only boys though, since girls don't pay for restaurant, it's impolite at the end. Every boy started to panic except for Naruto, he didn't even care. Sasuke ate her since he had enough money to buy the restaurant. Hiba wept at this, looks like no allowance for a month or 3 if he lost. Abiram Shino let out a sigh, he had tons of money, but still Chaoji. They all picked up their saucer after pouring their drink. Naruto looked at Sasuke and Sasuke looked at him, their eyes narrowed. Competition began. Chaoji looked at Shikamaru and Shikamaru back, no matter how lazy he was, no way in hell he was paying for all that food. Kiba looked at Shino, but unfortunately Shino didn't look back. Sakura looked at Ino and Ino looked at Hinata, and Hinata looked at both of them 3-way. 1. Ino. 2. Sakura. 3. Hinata. But that the drinking began. 30 minutes later, left on the table was Chaoji, Shikamaru, Sasuke and Naruto that have not stopped looking at each other. Since it began they were both getting a saucy from the way they started at lightning speed, but we're still moving fast, putting cup after cup. Kiba was barely hanging on as he was with the Abiram, who showed no signs of even drinking the poison. Sakura has been left after 3 cups, which left her woozy and sitting on her seat backwards talking to the wall as if it was Sasuke. Hinata and Ino were still going at it. Okay, let's take a break to eat. At the magic word they all stopped. There was 4 massive plates of meat spread across the table. Chaoji's eyes glistened. Kiba let out a small growl as he saw Chaoji eyeing the same plate as him. Naruto and Sasuke did not stop looking at each other. With practice ease, they both picked up the chopsticks and threw some meat into the fryer. Face it Naruto, you won't be able to beat me, said Sasuke, his voice slurred but still clear. As if you can beat me, Ichiha, said Naruto, his voice a little more clear, but his monotone dropped a little. Han on off you be abler to defeat me, spoke Kiba. They got the whiz of what he was saying. Shikamaru. Mumu, said Chaoji, stuffing beef into his mouth. Pause. The battle stars. Okay, so Shino lost it. So Sasuke, I heard from your fan club you was blesses a tree Sakura. Perhaps you should stop, Ino-san, your eyes are getting dilated. And your posture has fallen, said Hinata. Trying to use mind games to outdo her. Beckless of her good chakra control, she was placing chakra on her throat to stop the effect of the alcohol. But she was having trouble since she didn't have no more, she only be able to keep it up for 10 minutes. Yeah right, you sneaky bitch, you just wanna rape the boys when they drunk, but I got news for you, I got Sasuke-kun, she finished surprisingly with a fair voice. Maybe she done this before. After eating 34,000 rya worth of meats, mostly Chaoji, they got back to the game. 1. Shikamaru. Shino. Earth. Kiba. The game began. 30 minutes later, a loud echo was heard around the table as Kiba fell backwards and landed on his table. Laughing can be heard from the Abiram at this. Everybody in the table stopped and looked at him. Yep, we lost him. Back to the drinking. Naruto, Shikamaru, Chaoji, Shino and Sasuke were left. The girls been eliminated. With Ino flirting with a random guy by the bar. Hinata trying to sneak up on Naruto every now and then and lick his ear. Which all ended in failure for the poor Hyuga, since Naruto will move at the last moment and her head will slam into the table. She had the mark to prove it. Sakura was talking to a broom before she was led to Sasuke by Kiba. To annoy the kid, she has been under the table, trying to take his pants off for the longest, saying something along the line of, bless. And I wanna see it. Naruto looked at Sasuke, he saw that this was going nowhere. Okay, we taking this to my house, I got drinks for days and pornos only you will find on the internet. D-hat replied Sasuke. Nothing, let's go, but we shall take these girls home, he said, getting up with stumble. Sasuke followed, dragging Sakura, who was hanging from his leg, reaching for private places before he kicked her forehead. What about Kaiabs? What about Kaiabs, Naruto? Shouldn't we take him with us? Oh, you so evil, Sasuke. Okay, let's take Hyam to the house of cats. Sasuke laughed evilly, not what he had in mind, but yes, that will do. After getting the girls with a little help from Shikamaru. They was going to ask Shino, but he was making out with a ladybug. Leaving him at the bar, they decided to take Hinata first. Hyuga compound. The Ashi was waiting by the gate. His daughter was late, 2 hours late. He was a little disturbed when he heard singing. Wait, that didn't sound like singing. He looked to the right down the road to see 3 kids each carrying a girl. He listened to the words. Hi, my name is Slim Shady. Hi kids, do you like violence? Want to see me stick 9-inch kunai off one of my eyelids? Naruto voice came. Yeah. Came Sasuke voice doing the impression of little kids. Slim Shady, you a basehead. Came Shikamaru doing an impression of a man with a deep voice. Nua? Then why is your face red, man, you wasted? Hey, in my offense you wasted too. Finished Naruto. The Ashi activated his eyes, he saw his daughter, his eyes went red. He rushed in fully intent on putting whoever it was down. He was a bit surprised when the kid disappeared and reappeared next to his ear and whispered, "It's raining." His ashy eyes twitched when he was going to turn around. He was surprised when nobody was there but Hinata, who was laid out on the floor. "We are gonna have a talk lather, young lady." With that he picked her up. The cat shacked. "Okay, on three we threw him in," Naruto said. Shikamaru smiled evilly. Sasuke tried to smirk, but he was so fucked up all you saw was a lap-sided smile. 1, 2, 3. With a crash they smashed Kiba through the display window, the cats being woken up so suddenly. They scratched the first thing they saw, and Tay saw Kiba and he smelled leaked dog. The soft shink sound was heard. They laughed as they ran away. "Hey guys, where's Sakura and Ino?" Shikamaru finally noticing he had no weight on his back. Sasuke looked behind him and saw he also had nobody on his back. Naruto smiled. "Hey guys, look, it's Inochi and Pinky Father. They came to say hello. Wait, what's that in Inochi hand? I thinks it's a ranch, a really big ranch. And why is Pinky Father making hand signs? Ain't he a civilian? Oh shit. Run, meet at my house in 15. With that they all disappeared. Naruto house. They all arrived the same time. They had their arms wrapped around their shoulder, all leaning on each other for support. Knocking, they heard some rustling before the door opened. Hokage in her sleeping garments, which was nothing but panties and a bra. Naruto mouth dropped, Shikamaru passed out, and Sasuke was stuck as he couldn't look anywhere else. "Are you going to come in?" "Depends on what you want me to enter," said Naruto. Sasuke snickered at the dirty joke. Shikamaru was knocked out. Hokage smiled. Yup, Naruto was out of it. He hasn't been that fucked up since he challenged her to a drinking contest. "Hokage, get the drinks for tonight. I will defeat you. With my trusty drinking partner Sasuke right here." She smiled. Maybe she can get something out of this. "Okay, but rules are in place. If you win I will show you my breast, both of you, but if I win you both got to do something for me." They was so drunk they didn't bother to ask what she wanted, only they see breast. "Yosh, let's go." Hokage reached into the drink cabinet and got something strong called El Beso de la Muerte. The drink of death in Spanish. "Okay, let's start. It's 3 in the morning, you guys won't make it past 5. 2 hours lather. Why's you didn't tell me he was MT freighter?" said Naruto, now so intoxicated you could only understand some things. Jifjids. Sasuke. Shikamaru was knocked out with his head out the window. "You're such a lightweight." Finish, Hokage. She has already finished 2 bottles. The fact that Naruto was still holding out caught her by surprise. "So Sasuke, out of it," she added. "Was Yaru talked about has fine," he said, pointing at Sasuke that was throwing up everything he ate the whole week. Before he fell flat on his face. "Okay, Suyushu, take him to the guest room," he said. She complied. She picked up Sasuke and disappeared. She came back a couple minutes later. She helped Naruto up and helped him to his room. "Maybe you should stay with me, Crotonite," said Naruto. Hokage smiled before pulling him by neck collar and gave him a large kiss. She closed the door behind her as she went into the room. 7:39 in the morning. Naruto woke up with the meanest headache he ever had. He looked around and noticed there was something soft press against his arm. Then memory hit him like a ton of bricks. He turned his head slowly and found creamy white skin, blonde hair. "We didn't do nothing, you passed out when your head hit the bed." "A little disappointing really," spoke the voice. Naruto shook his head as his vision was blurring out. After a minute of refocusing, he released a sigh. "That's good, after all the last thing I want to do is have sex with Kami herself." With that he got up. He walked to his closet pulling out a towel. He needed a shower. He walked past Shikamaru leaning out the window. Shrugging his shoulder he kept walking. He arrived at Sasuke's room to see he was knocked out. He walked up to his so-called teammate. "That up Uchiha-san, we have a mission in 2 hours, we have to get ready." Seeing no response. He grabbed Sasuke by the ankle before dragging him off the bed. The Uchiha landed with a loud bang on the floor, multiplying his headache by 10. "Ugh, I hate you so much." He groaned out. "I don't like you either." There's a second bathroom down the hall. After taking a shower, head home, change into ninja gear, and meet me by the front gate. You will do well to be at your finest for this mission. With that said, Naruto walked off. "Stupid headache," said Naruto. He jumped into the shower, putting it freezing cold. He thought of what he did last night and smiled. Maybe the small bonds he created will be a little better for his plan. After all, why make enemies when you got no allies? Naruto got out 30 minutes later when he could only feel a fragment of the pain he used to have. Getting out the shower, he continued to have his morning pee, brush his teeth, look at his body in the mirror, you know, the usual man stuff. Releasing a long sigh when he urinated, flushing the liquor out his system, and boy, it felt good. Naruto stepped back into his room. After finishing up in the bathroom, he heard the door close, assuming it was Sasuke that left. Naruto-kun, you only have 45 minutes left before you leave," Hokage yelled from the kitchen. Naruto walked to the room she was located at. He was a little surprised to find a table full of food. He was only one person, right? Then he felt it. Shikamaru was his seat already leaning his head on the table muttering troublesome every now and then. Then he saw Sasuke already in his ninja gear sitting down on the table. How he changed so fast. Naruto didn't bother and sat down to eat. He picked up a couple dozen pancakes putting some syrup on it, then he reached for the bacon and put it on his plate before asking Sasuke to pass the eggs. But my stomach empty. Everything he had in his stomach yesterday was spilled out next to his bed. Sasuke nodded understanding as he picked up 6 pieces of bacon, a plateful of eggs with 4 slices of wheat bread. Shikamaru not wanting to suffer from live failure, he opted for a small bagel with some herbal tea to get rid of the headache. Naruto, what's up with that tattoo on your arm? Questioned Shikamaru. At this Sasuke stopped eating to look at Naruto's forearm and indeed saw the weird ink design. Naruto narrowed his eyes a little, but he needed Shikamaru genius for what he had in store in the future. He'll play along for now. A necklace? Was his response. You carry a necklace and a ceiling tattoo that uses chakra, so you feel that's the power that necklace contains. Tell me what you know about the Sage of the Sixth Path, the inventor of ninjutsu. Naruto ignored the inventor part, not wanting to let them know more than they supposed to. Yes, well, he carries a chain around his neck that currently resides inside this arm. Enough question, let's finish eating. Naruto ended the conversation by digging in. Shikamaru didn't pry more into it, after all he knew a threat when he heard one, it couldn't be more clear. Tell anybody and I'll kill you. After 10 minutes of eating they were all done. Come on Sasuke, they should be waiting for us. After going into his room to pick up his katana and kunai pouch he came back out. All 3 of the young shinobi walked out the door. Once outside they parted way with Shikamaru going home, saying something about his bitchy mother. Sasuke looked at Naruto before nodding with a silent response. They dashed towards the front gate. Just before arriving Naruto stopped Sasuke. He shushed him when Sasuke was about to talk, he pointed towards the gate. Next to Sakura and Kakashi was an old man that Naruto could smell the alcohol coming off him, but that's not what he was looking at. He was looking at the team from Kumagakure standing next to them. He observed all of them. One of them was obviously female from the huge bust she carried. She had a slender curvaceous body and seemed to be wearing a low-cut outfit with mesh under it. She had red hand guards with black shinobi sandals. Her blue eyes looking straight ahead. He caught a glimpse of 2 katana behind her crossed to form a X. The next girl had dark skin with amber eyes. She wore gray shinobi pants that faded into her long shinobi sandals. She wore a gray jacket with a black mesh shirt under it. Her red hair caught Naruto's attention. She was arguing with a dark-skinned boy who wore the same thing she wore only for men. They both had katana on their back. Naruto resisted the urge to flinch at the amount of chakra the sensei was giving off. He was wearing the regular Konoha Jounin uniform, but he seemed to have 7 blades on his back that Naruto didn't think he knew how to use. The man had a white bear. Naruto's eyes narrow when the man's eyes met his. So he knows I'm here. After observing the group Naruto removed his hand from Sasuke's mouth before leaping off the building. The Kumo trio reacted immediately. They took out their katana fully intent on cutting up anybody trying to ambush them. They was surprised when the blonde took out his own katana, clashing with the stoic-faced girl with blonde hair. Sasuke took out his kunai out to block the incoming sword from the red-haired girl. What Sasuke didn't see was the other teammates sneaking up on him, but Naruto did. A loud clang echoed across the room. They all looked to the source of the noise. They saw another Naruto with his blade fully intent on severing the third teammate's spine. The reason that was stopped was Becus the Kumo Jounin had his hand clenched around the blade. Very well made blade. Said the guy as he looked at his bleeding hand. Before it healed right in front of him. Naruto's eyes narrow. He only seen something like that once, and that was when he did it. Who the hell are you, blondie? And why are you attacking us? Yelled the red-head girl. Well, I'm one of the remaining members of that team. Said Naruto pointing at Kakashi. So is the guy you pointing your blade at. Responded Naruto calmly. Your sword skills are fine. Where you got that blade, Mr. 9? Naruto raised an eyebrow. What did he call him? Fairy? Don't point that blade like that. Maybe you sliced a fly in half and now the whole world will end. Spoke the only boy in the 3-person cell. Boy, shut up, that's impossible, you moron. Yelled the girl back. Yeah, whatever, flat chest. Maybe you should eat what Samuel eats and maybe your tot Oz will grow in. He was promptly knocked out by said girl. Kakashi seen enough and decided to get back to business. Okay, how about we put weapons away and get started on why we are really here. Everybody looked at him then back at each other before complying. Mission report. Spoke Naruto. His body going back to ninja mode after letting his battle mode subside. They all looked at him. Nobody but the Jounins in charge can ask for something like that. We are to help this man to his home country. The real mission is to stop a man named Gedo who has placed himself as emperor of Wave Country. Be alert for anything can happen in this mission. They were even more surprised he answered. Samui was seeing the confrontation. But her mind was elsewhere. She remembered just a minute ago when Naruto blocked her katana. The way he blocked it was the perfect way to counter double weapons. Instead of taking it head-on, he took them at an angle for that less of her pressure was on his katana, meaning a very slim possibility of breaking off his guard. Then she thought about how Naruto katana was able to cut B-sensei, something she never seen before. Who was this kid? You kid, what did your name carry? Raised a eyebrow. Samui never asked nobody their name unless they caught her attention somehow. She admits the blonde kid had some skills but nothing they haven't seen before. Naruto looked at the scowling blonde before turning around. He completely ignored her. Asked her then what they thought Samui could move. She was in front of Naruto staring down the kid. I ask you a question, you will do right to answer. Naruto released a small dose of killing intent. His next words came out bone-chilling and cruel. And why should I answer to you, Kumo scum? Kumogakure isn't nothing but a bunch of power-hungry people that had the galls to steal a little girl when she was just a baby to use as breeding stock. Samui's eyes widened. The Hyuga clan incident wasn't something that was public knowledge. The only reason she knew was Beku's Killer Bee mentioned it in one of his training exercise. I would watch my mouth, Konoha garbage. You want to talk Konoha? Even worse, that will sacrifice somebody else's life to save another. What happened to Konoha equality? Naruto didn't flinch at the diss at the village. In truth, he could care less. You're right, this place just as rotten, but what is life but nothing but a dream? With that, Naruto stepped around her. You haven't answered my question. If you must know, my name is Naruto, just Naruto. No surname? Samui inquired. I do, but why would I tell you? After all, you haven't told me yours. Samui. With that, she walked away. I got to watch out for him. Konnichiwa, Naruto-kun. Yelled out Sakura. Naruto completely disregarded the greeting. Walking past her, Naruto headed towards the main gate. What are you waiting for? Naruto said, turning his head towards the group. With that, he walked ahead. And that is slurred the slightly intoxicated old man. That is Naruto, Tazuna-san. He might seem cold, but I got confidence that he will protect you with his life. After all, that's Konoha Nindu. Said Kakashi. He missed the smirk that crossed Naruto's face. Who said, I worked for Konoha? Seems like you screwed Tazuna-san. Maybe, but I know you felt that earlier. Spoke Tsukyun. Yes, what was that anyways? It's called Yaki. Demonic chakra. Yaki? Where does this chakra come from? The Bijuu, they hold great amounts of chakra, people seal them inside objects, but it seems your generation choose a different path, a little cruel really. To seal one in a human. And how's does this involve me? Tell me, Naruto, have you ever wondered what's inside of the hallways across from me? I'm listening. Akatsuki base. It appears the 9 and 8 tails are on a mission together. This will be a perfect opportunity. Said a plant-like figure. The room was dark. If anybody looked, you will think he was talking to himself. For a brief moment nothing happened. To a pattern of ripple eyes was seen a couple feet away from the plant man. Interesting, okay, send out Alpha 3. With that, he laughed. The plant man sighed before sinking into the frown. Why Alpha 3? They was so bloodthirsty. Arriving in a round chamber. He was disgusted by the smell of blood. What do we got here? Spoke a man with 2 swords on his back. Perhaps a snack. You have been summoned to a mission, you are to head out immediately. He handed him the scroll before sinking back into the ground. What do you think? Raiga asked a gruff voice. I don't know, Zabuza-senpai. But they're going to be blood, perfect setting for a funeral. Indeed, go get Kisum, we are to head out immediately. So where we heading? Spoke a blue-skinned man with a bandaged sword on his back. Wave country, looks like we going squid hunting. With the Konoha and Cloud group. Naruto was, for a lack of better words, a little confused. Therefore he wasn't really paying attention. Naruto reminds on what Tsukyun just told him. So the glares came from that source. I hold unimaginable power. It's that a good thing or bad? Naruto notices a small puddle in the middle of the road. He looked at the group behind him and saw the whole Kumo squad notice it too. Kakashi also did but choose to ignore it. Sakura was talking to Tazuna, not paying attention to the road ahead, and Sasuke seemed to think it was off, but didn't think much of it. He passed the puddle first. He gave it a small glare but continued walking past. Once the assailants in the water saw the blonde pass and the old man approaching, they got ready. Both going towards different opponents. They jumped out, completely shredding the person they consider a threat in the group. Maizu got Kakashi and shredded him to pieces, with Gozu following up and doing the same to Killer Bee. After that was done, they turned their attention towards the group of kids. Azuna's heart almost stopped when he saw the two nin's deadly weapons. Sakura froze at the sight of enemies but stood her ground, taking out a kunai. She jumped in front of Tazuna. The Mizu brothers smiled. They connected their weapons 2 for a long chain. 2 down. Maizu. 7 to go. Gozu finished. They smiled but was hitting Becuous of their breathing mask. First one to react was Sasuke, pulling out a kunai. He tossed it in between the hole. The chain had to keep both chains together, pinning them to a tree. The Mizu brothers were surprised these weren't regular genin. Before they both received a brutal kick to the head, a katana appeared through Maizu's stomach thanks to Samui. Gozu screamed as he saw his brother get taken down. He quickly followed with carry an Amoy blade piercing through each of his lungs. A fountain of blood flowed from the wound. The wounds they received were meant for them to die slowly long enough to gather information. That plan was ruined when two Naruto appeared. They cut both their head from top to bottom. They refused the urge to puke when they saw both pieces of the twins peel away from each other. The blood gushed to the ground now, different organs fell on the ground ranging from long and small intestine to kidneys, and lives were all laid out on the floor. Naruto's once black outfit was filled with blood. His katana shined a little. "You are foolish to think this distraction will work," said Naruto, not talking to anybody in particular. The slicing of air was all the team needed to know danger was coming. Sasuke pushed Sakura down with her, taking Tazuna with her. Samui took cover before Amoy knocked down Kari to save her from danger. Naruto did not move. Naruto waited for the weapon to get closer before batting it away with his katana. The large blade was embedded into a different tree. A man in a black and with red could appear. It was open in the front to show he wore no shirt and black and white pajama-looking plants. "You defeated the Mizu brothers, not surprising, but the cruelty in which you did it impressed me. Tell me, what is your name?" came the gruff voice. "Why give your name to a dead man?" Naruto countered. He didn't like this. That chakra this guy was giving off was unreal. It felt so wild. He saw Sakura was on her knees clutching her head from the foul power. Sasuke was barely holding on. The Kumo team shook it off as if it was nothing, meaning they was put off this killing tent before, but where? You got spunk, but Naruto was not ready for the brutal pain that coursed through his body as the blunt side of the blade got smashed against his face. Naruto got sent through a couple trees before he crashed against a tree that caused him to arch his back. He had 3 broken ribs and a bruised spine. Naruto was taken by surprise. He never been hit so hard in his life, not even when he trained with his old group, and they were relentless, but this is a whole new level of power and brute strength. He felt his injuries being melded together. Probably it's doing, Atlas, it's good for something. He used his katana for support to help him up. That was last thing he wanted to do. As the glare of his Zambadu was coming at him, fully intent on decapitating his head from his shoulder. His eyes widened before something happened. His vision changed, everything slowed down. He saw the katana coming. His was before black burning wings spread out behind him. He could feel the heat coming off of them. The wings came forward to block the incoming weapon before he gave it a silent command to push him the sword away. He inspected them and saw they was angel-like but were completely black and covered in flames. They spread behind him in a very angel-like way. He looked at his katana and saw that it was also lit with the same flames his wings were. What was this? "Who are you, Uzumaki Naruto?" came Tsukuyo's frightened voice. She hasn't seen this power since that time. When he met him. He ignored tech questions slightly vacuous. He didn't know either. He faced his opponent again. "Let's see what power this new level has. If it's anything like the first time I activated these eyes, then it should be powerful." Zabuza raised an eyebrow at this before smirking, showing off a full row of sharp teeth. He launched a barrage of kunai at his opponent. "Forbidden Kido. Siki," Naruto said under his breath. Zabuza was taken for surprised when his attack was stopped by invincible force. Before they fell limply to Teflor. "Kido, the hell is that? What was that technique anyways? This just got a lot more complicated. I have to retreat for now before Kisame gets curious and joins the fight." Where Haku found him. "I hope this works." Zabuza ran to the nearest body of water before walking straight across it. Now the fun begins. Naruto's eyes widened. How did he knew that technique? He felt like at the last moment somebody whispered it into his ear. He looked around and saw nor felt nobody. Must have been his mind playing with him. "Pretty nice trick you got there. But let's see how you stop this. I haven't used this attack since I went against the 3 Mizukage. Don't disappoint me." Grinning like a shark, Zabuza began. "Suiten Sashouha Enden." Kakashi's eyes widened when he heard the name of the technique that was the second Hokage special move. The water around Zabuza began to spin before a 6-story size spiraling tornado-like wave spun around him. Naruto looked unfazed at the size of the attack before something hit him. There's that voice again. "Hado 88. Hiryujekazoku Raiho." Naruto raised his sword at the attack in front of him. Lighting chakra gather at the tip. "Life is nothing but a dream," muttered Naruto. Both the attack met. "Bang, so, I'm finally starting to kick ass. It's just right after all. I am awesome." Naruto. Silver ignored him. "Not in the mood right now. Let's get on with the fucking story." Naruto raised an eyebrow at this. Did Silver just curse? "Somebody didn't eat their big kid's meal. What, your mom didn't feel like walking towards Mickey D's?" Naruto was now using a mocking tone. "I hate you so much right now. What you're doing here anyways? Don't you got stuff to do? Like, come on, did this character make a living of pissing fire author's Ritter off? I don't get paid enough for this weight. I don't get paid at all. Why am I even reading anyways? All we have is a bunch of trolls." Snapping out of his stupor, Naruto walked towards his kitchen. "I need a drink. Pine take some sake." Naruto offering the drink so popular drank in Japan. Naruto made a barfing sound, that shit tastes like a monkey shited on it, then came back later to pee inside of it, and to finish it off he cleared his throat before he spit inside of it. Do I look in any way Asian to you? I only have absolute vodka, straight rum, Brujula Spanish type of liquor, some Ciroc, tequila with lemons, some purple pills in that cabinet, for if the drinks don't take effect, you pick if you like wine, I have some fine wine in the back I prefer Taylor, but it's up to you really. Naruto had a massive sweet drop. What I don't got a drinking problem. I'm just going through some stuff. Naruto raised an eyebrow, looking at Silver skeptically. You know what? Fuck you and your redhead mom and your made-up sister Naruko. Hey. She might be imaginary, but I love her like a real sister, say anything sexual about her again, and I will shoot you through the head with a Desert Eagle painted gold, no maybe a M1911 orange with black trims. Wait, that's from another story. Anyways, you get the point. Silver was currently pouring himself a cup of iced vodka. Oh, you say something, shorty. Naruto face palmed. What's up with this kid, only about 19 years old and drinks from his father's secret liquor stash? You know what, let's start the chapter. Okay. Go ahead and press the summit chapter button. What is that thing again? Finding the button he pressed it. Don't be greedy, pass me some of that tequila. Naruto said, running towards the cabinet. Last time on TGP, Zabuza ran to the nearest body of water before walking straight across it. Now the fun begins. Naruto eyes widen. How did he knew that technique? He felt like at the last moment somebody whispered it into his ear. He looked around and saw nor felt nobody, must have been his mind playing with him. Pretty nice trick you got there. But let's see how you stop this. I haven't used this attack since I went against the third Mizukage, don't disappoint me. Grinning like a shark, Zabuza began. Suiten Sashauha Enden. Kakashi eyes widen when he heard the name of the technique that was the second Hokage special move. The water around Zabuza began to spin before a 6-story size spiraling tornado-like wave spun around him. Naruto looked unfazed at the size of the attack before something hit him. There's that voice again. Tato 88. Hiryu Jekazoku Raiho. Naruto raised his sword at the attack in front of him. Lighting chakra gather at the tip. Life is nothing but a dream. Muttered Naruto. Both the attack met. Zabuza eyes widen when the lightning beam pierced right through his attack. He was in trouble now. Zabuza raised his blade and positioned it in front of him. Didn't think I have to use that in this fight, but this is just a test, nothing serious, plus, I want to know how he got his hand on a sentiment sword. But if my calculation are correct, that's the sort of boom, boom, boom. There was a huge shock and huge waves spread out in all direction. Naruto jumped into the air using his wings to stay afloat. Naruto looked to where he saw the Kumo team chakra and saw they also jumped higher into the tree to avoid damage. He also saw Kakashi lifting Tazuna up before taking a huge leap backwards. Sasuke and Sakura were also in trees, but both not knowing how to tree climb, couldn't climb upper, so they ended up being smashed into the ground. That most have hurt, but Naruto eyes snapped back to where he felt Zabuza presence intensify. What is that? A huge dome of vile blue chakra was now surrounding Zabuza. He can make out a small silhouette. He saw that Zabuza was definitely taller now, and his blade was skinny. Wasn't that shit huge a minute ago? Zabuza smiled when he saw his transformation complete. He was now wearing a black yamaka with matching black samurai pants. He had brown sandals with white socks. His charcoal hair grew out with bangs that covered his eyes. His hair was messy in the back but reached his mid-back. What really caught Naruto's attention was the blade. The blade lost its hole, it took a more kitchen knife look, had a small curve, it was black and silver. Think of Zangetsu Ichiro blade form bleach. Not only did it look more deadly, the power coming off of it reeked. It was so foul. Naruto's smile grew, and his pupil enlarged, his iris turned to the all-so-familiar black and white yin and yang design. You're the third person to look into these eyes, the other two survive on my own whim. Don't get it wrong, I will kill them, just not right now, but you look like a person that could cause me a lot of unnecessary trouble if I let you live. Zabuza smirked at the kid's words. Anybody else will be intimidated by Naruto Dark Angel appearance, but Zabuza looked at this as a challenge. Big talk for a kid with no name. I don't think we introduced, have we? Well, I am Zabuza Mamachi, former member of the Seven Swords Men. Now I work for an organization called Akatsuki. Red Dawn, not a very intimidating name to go by. What is the purpose of this organization? Naruto had a bad feeling about this. Zabuza smirked, he could see the mild curiosity peek in those strange orbs. Maybe I'll tell you, but you never said your name. Naruto eyes narrow a little. He'll play for a while. My name is Naruto. Remember that vacuous life is nothing but a dream. Naruto said. Zabuza eyes narrow a little at that last little piece of information. Naruto raised his katana before channeling his phoenix chakra into his sword. The weapon ignited in burning black flames. Enough with the mindless talk. Naruto's demeanor changed. Of course, I would love to fight the one and only Shai no Tenchie, an angel of death. Naruto eyes widen, his step faltered a little. Zabuza took advantage. delivering a mighty kick to Naruto's face. Naruto went soaring through the air. That attack was a lot stronger than before, I can almost feel my teeth cracking. Spitting up some blood and a chip of tooth, Naruto stepped back to vertical after that harsh blow knocked him down. "So you do know about me, how did you acquire such delicate information, Naruto?" he said calmly, showing emotion in a ninja world could spell you death, but inside he barked out. That name brought back memories, bad memories. He swore he will kill anybody that mentions it again. "I guess it's your lucky day, Zabuza. For I will send you into an unending dream only death can grant." Naruto used a technique similar to Shushin, appearing in front of Zabuza with his blade coming down on him. Zabuza lazily raised his blade to deflect it. Naruto bent down and went for a mid-stomach blow. Zabuza easily dodged the blade before jumping forward with a fake thrust before disappearing and reappearing behind Naruto. He cut this Naruto in half before blood gushed out of his wounds. You could see some of his spine hanging out. Some organs fell to the floor. Naruto's eyes were full of guilt. "I'm sorry, Nami-chan. And you forgot person." Naruto promised to become great. Last chapter. Kumo team, Samui sighed. Guessed he was all talk. But still a shame, really, he was kind of cute. Harry. Guessed Konoha ain't as strong as it appears. Harry. Very disappointing, and I wanted to clash blade with him. Pillar B. So that's his plan, a little reckless, but might work. Team 7, Sasuke was in a world of his own. Even he was weak, I wanted him to train me, I still got Kakashi. Sakura's eyes were wide. Impossible, Naruto. Kakashi has long since took out his sharingan, he did it because he was ready to jump in at any moment. He didn't jump in earlier because he thought he can get some techniques from Naruto did, but did having a couple on ninjutsu really mean more to him than his student? Naruto was behind a tree about 8 yards away. Naruto was looking at Zabuza from his position on a tree. He needed some time to prepare this thing, he realized that facing Zabuza was not a good idea, especially when he was in that strange form. He said looking at Zabuza's weird skeletal mask. "Sukune, I know you said those techniques are only for emergency, but absolutely not, you know what those techniques does every time you use it. What if you miss, huh? You're right, but what else can I use? When else will I be able to use it? Zabuza is way stronger than me in this form. Right now is perfect practice, and if I miss there are 2 other jounin in the sidelines. In fact, I think Kakashi already jumped in," said Naruto. He looked to where he placed his blood clone before. And indeed he saw Kakashi and Zabuza were doing the same exact hand signs. "Do you want power?" Naruto jumped. "Who was that? Who are you? Who am I? I am a part of you. Uzumaki Naruto, inheritor of the Sika Eyes and Holy Fire. Tell me, do you want the power to destroy that human? Who are you?" Naruto Pantance was growing thin. "If you most know, I am the Kyuubi ruler of the 9th level of hell." Naruto eyes widened. This was the being locked inside of him. "So you finally decide to talk, why so long?" Pantance waiting for the right moment, "You should know, right? Now do you want power? Unimaginable power, nobody will be able to stand in front of you with the power I can grant you. That's enough. Kyuubi. Naruto will not use your power," screamed out a 4th voice. Kami appeared in front of the beast cage, with Naruto and Sukune standing right next to her. Naruto looked at Kami before looking back at the Kyuubi. "Fine, I will accept this power." Kami looked at Naruto. "Are you crazy? Nothing this thing does is in goodwill. He wants something back. Anything that thing wants will no doubtly end with you 6 feet under. I should know after what he did to me." Kami belittled Naruto. "I see." The Kyuubi moved his massive eyes to Kami. His feral pupil enlarged for a minute before he smiled. "So we meet again, Kami-chan." Kami teeth clenched at the suffix. Kyuubi ignored her for now before focusing back on Naruto. "But what she speaks is the truth. In return for my power you have to do something for me." Naruto eyes met the bloody red ones of the Kyuubi. "And that is you must kill that girl." Naruto eyes widened. "Why? Will the Kyuubi want him to kill the person he known his whole life? There was no way he will do something like that, after all everything he learned he was taught by Tsukune. I can't do that, but I will do anything else." The Kyuubi saw Naruto was not going to change his mind. He looked at Tsukune before letting out a snarl. "I see, so you managed to make him believe that you are a tragic phoenix abandoned by your family, huh, Nagar?" Nagar, her name is Tsukune. "Stop it, Kyuubi, you're going into dangerous grounds. Shut your mouth or I will do what I did to you all those years ago." Tsukune shouted. The Kyuubi let out a ferocious laugh. Naruto was lost. What was Tsukune talking about? Did her and the Kyuubi meet before? "Enough!" shouted Kami, releasing a huge amount of power that blasted the Kyuubi a couple of feet away. The Kyuubi was furious. How dare this holy being, especially her, do something like that to him. He got on his feet before dashing towards the gate. A loud boom echoed around the chambers. When the Nine Tails' big body smashed against the gate, the room trembled. Kami did not move. Tsukune faltered a little before regaining balance. Naruto also didn't move as the attack did not seem scare or bother him. "That's it!" shouted Naruto. At this all the people in the room were sent to their knees from the power Naruto released. All three of you be quiet. When I come back I want to know everything that happened. I will be taking your chakra Kyuubi. With that Naruto exited, he had a fight to finish. Back in the real world, Naruto was back on the tree he was before. He felt the power of the Kyuubi flow through his body, he smiled, this power was unimaginable. Naruto saw that his katana took on a different form. No longer was it black, but it was gold with silver tribal markings. The holster where he but his hand took on the form of the 9 tails, with the tails surrounding his hand and the head being the end of it, with the Kyuubi mouth open with fire popping out. He looked towards the sun and let the warmth of the rays hit him, his body took on a small gold glow. He always felt stronger when the sun rays hit him. I need to focus. I only got one shot. Seika Jujutsu. Back with Kakashi. Kakashi was blasted against a tree for the 4th time. His sharingan seemed to have no effect on the now transformed Zabuza. Every time his sharingan made eye contact he felt like his eyes was being gouged out, the amount of pain he felt was indescribable. He had to cover it in order to keep fighting, but without it was handicapped, meaning he was getting his ass beat. But that Kakashi slammed against a tree. He was now laying on the bottom of the tree, with no strength to get up, he lied on the stump. Kakashi saw Zabuza appear in front of him. Any last words, Kakashi of the sharingan? Kakashi started to think this was really it. I failed you, Obito. With that Kakashi closed his eyes waiting for death. Zabuza blade came closer and closer. Zabuza let a small smile appear that was covered by his mask, and just when the blade was inches away, the final blow never came. He opened his only visible eye before noticing a figure back on the river. He looked up and saw that Zabuza also sensed the man since he stopped his sword. The strange man in the distance didn't move. He did hear Zabuza mutter something within the lines of, "Not dead. You know, Zabuza, as much as I would love for you to kill him, it will be bad for my mission," spoke the person. So familiar was it Naruto. Kakashi smiled when he saw who it was. Everything was in good hands before he let sweet consciousness take him. So you did survive, huh? I had to admit that kill was way too easy for it to be true. Zabuza looked to where he killed Naruto last time and saw nothing but a trace of blood. Blood clone. He looked at Naruto and took in his new appearing and smiled. So are you finally going to take me serious? He got no response, but he knew what it meant. About goddamn time really. But first. Zabuza swung his sword backwards, ready to decapitate the sleeping ninja. His eyes widened when his blade was stopped. Naruto was now crouched in front of Kakashi, protecting him from the danger. His hand was placed in front of him, blocking the blade. Zabuza's eyes widened. This kid just traveled a good 10 yards in the blink of an eye. He was also surprised to see that Naruto didn't bother to use a sword, but instead used his bare hand. Like I said, this guy behind me could not be killed just yet. With that he disappeared. So did Kakashi. Naruto was now standing in front of Team B. Watch over this for a while. Don't worry, this will be over quickly. With that Naruto went back to where Zabuza was waiting for him in the middle of the lake. Samui smirked. This kid is becoming more interesting. Darui looked at Samui from the corner of his eyes before saying, if I didn't know any better, I'll say it sounds like you got a small crush on this kid. No response. Darui mouth fell in his lollipop. Oh my Kami, this kid is so lucky, look at those breasts, they're huge, and it can maybe become his. Lucky bastard, maybe if I dye my hair blonde and start wearing black. He drifted off. Harry smacked him. Shut up. Why do I always fall for the weird ones? Pillar B was conversating with the beast within him. Yeah, I guess you're right, Raikage-sama won't like that a kid this young holds so much power. Sasuke smirked. So he ain't dead. I guess he has some use to me. Sakura smiled before letting out a small sigh. What's wrong with me? Why am I so concerned for Naruto? I don't like him, right? Naruto landed in front of Zabuza with his arms crossed. I will ask you to surrender. If you don't you will probably die. Naruto spoke. He knew Zabuza already knows he can't stand a chance, but his pride wouldn't let him accept it. Like if I will, Zabuza couldn't finish because one of Naruto's knees was now located in his stomach, officially knocking the wind out of him. Suit yourself. Before using his right hand to lift Zabuza by his throat before punching him in his ribs. A few cracks can be heard. He then threw him up in the air, going through a couple of hand signs. Pain. Fenikusu Kasai, fire style. Phoenix fire. The technique released a blazing red phoenix no bigger than Naruto. The bird spread its wings before chasing its target. Zabuza was in the air, he saw the bird fly past him. Before blowing up a couple of inches above him. The shock burned Zabuza tremendously before he was fired back down to the earth. Naruto jumped up as Zabuza hit the water with a huge splash. Zabuza was under the water with a smile. This is a fight. Breaking through the water surface. He took a slash at Naruto, which he leaned back to avoid doing a backflip. Naruto tried to deliver uppercut to Zabuza with his feet, which Zabuza jumped to avoid jetting hit. When Naruto landed he was met with a knee to the nose, which was followed by an elbow to the cheek, then Zabuza sent a barrage of punch and kicks that all connected. Putting some chakra into his attack to cast more damage. Zabuza was breathing heavy after he finished. He saw Naruto laying in a crater. Guess you are just talk. Naruto at the sky. This power, he thought, it's incredible. He looked at his hand and saw the thin layer of chakra that surrounded him. He needed to finish this. Naruto got up from the crater, not a scratch on him. He dusted himself off. Is that all you got? Pathetic. Really, you don't deserve to have my sword clash with yours, for that is a sign of equality, something we don't share. Why, you little snooty bastard. You want to see power? I'll show you power. This is my ultimate technique. Do me a favor, don't die, then my mission will be failed. Zabuza spoke with an evil smirk. Zabuza's body started to change before he was once again enveloped in purple and black chakra. Naruto looked at the dome unflinchingly. Now perfect. Kyuubi, give me some more chakra. Naruto felt the power increase. Naruto channeled all of his remaining power to his eyes as they glowed with unimaginable power. Naruto covered his left eye with his left hand. He started doing one-handed hand signs with the other. Zabuza, now that the dome fell, was also different. He was wearing a white bone mask with horns coming out. The mask had a painting of a demon with sharp teeth, its mouth open, showing his frightening. He no longer had a shirt on. Think of Ichiro Zangetsu form transformation. Zangetsu? Tomo no Kumite. I think it means Spirit Blade. Soul Spear. Zabuza released his attack. A beam-like spear was released from his katana, aiming towards Naruto. Naruto's eyes snapped open, removing his left hand. Black blood came out of both Naruto's eyes before his Dujutsu spoon in his eyes. Sika Jujutsu. Kakuren Sainaru High. Holy Arts, Unholy Fire. Out of Naruto's right eye came out a peach black like bird made of flames, its red eyes glowed with venom. Out of his left eye came the vile creature known as the Nine-Tails Fox made of fire. It was crimson in color, its yellow eyes with slits pupil made it look even more crazed. The two shot into the air, both spinning next to each other before mixing into a flaming black fox with crimson wings. The tails became gold with black tips. It let out a beastly roar that made everybody in sidelines cover their ears. The beast was now on the floor in front of Naruto, its head lowered, meaning it was ready to pounce and attack. Naruto ignored the burning sensation in his eyes before saying. As more blood poured out. This is Aryan. The fox bird of fire. Zabuza, meet the creature made by Demeter, the ruler of life and death. Everybody here are the first person to lay eye on it. Be flattered. Oh, and do me a favor and die. The creature let out another roar before soaring towards its objective. Aryan jumped over Zabuza. Tomo no Kumite. The attack was on a straight line for Naruto with nothing to stop it, and Naruto occupied both attack met their targets. Haboom, haboom, haboom. The blast was tremendous, leaving nothing in sight. The water got evaporated from the heat. The tree in front were also taken away, the earth was cracked in half, liquid lava leaked out. Naruto saw that the hot molten rock was heading in the group direction. He called up some of the chakra he had left. His left eyes moved towards the lava, concentrating. Naruto commanded it to go towards a different direction. This was Naruto's first time using his eyes in battle. He was paying for it every minute. His corneas felt like if they was being burned. After seeing the danger was cleared, he looked to where the crack that Zabuza Tomo no Kumite caused. He had to use his eyes to deflect the attack. That's why Aryan didn't quite reach full power, but the results were big to say the least. He noticed that if he let the lava flow, it will no doubt reach the hidden wave village. Something he didn't want. Using his last bit of chakra, he closed his eyes. Black blood came out before he opened his right eye. He slapped his hand together to concentrate the chakra. There was a sizzle before the earth began to close. Falling on his knees, Naruto covered his eyes. The pain was too much to bear. Deactivating them, Naruto rubbed his eyes before getting on one knee. Everybody that was there had to take cover. Killer Bee transported everybody to where Team 7 was hiding with the client before making a tentacle surrounding the group, appealing some of his tail beast chakra to act as a shield. Don't move. The group felt like if they got hit by an earthquake and a volcano explosion with the vibration and the heat they felt was amazing. A huge blast echoed around the place for a minute. Everything went white. When Killer Bee finally found it safe outside, he released the technique. Everybody gasped. There was nothing to see for miles. Anything that was located in front of Naruto was completely incinerated. Nothing. There was no river, no mountains, no geographical feature, nothing. If Killer Bee were to guess, he will say for about 2 miles, you wouldn't see nothing but a huge crater. They heard a soft thud behind them and saw Naruto land with his back slouching a little, no longer in his previous transformation. He looked at them. Is everybody alright? Yes, I protected them from the blast. Where's Zabuza's? Oh, that's good. Somewhere in there. He moved his head in the crater direction. Too tired to lift his arms. Naruto-kun, your eyes, they're bleeding. Yelled Sakura. Thank you. Naruto wiped the black blood from his cheeks. You must be tired, dope. Said Sasuke. He had to admit that attack was scary. His legs were shaking, but he wouldn't let Kumo think the Uchiha are scared of some lil jutsu. Not at all, Naruto said before hitting the floor face first. The last thing he heard was everybody's voice. Naruto. Inside the crater. A man with a large blade covered in bandage was now in front of Zabuza. Always a hothead, ain't you, Zabuza? Shut up, kiss him and take me to get my injuries treated. Injuries? A cut is an injury, what you need is a fucking miracle. Your right arm is gone, you have a hole in your chest, you seem to be missing a couple ribs that were shattered when you tried to place your blade in front of you. That's another thing, your blade is going to be useless for a while. Plus you seem to have become numb. In basics you pretty much got your ass handed to you. Man, I should have fought the kid. Kiss him, finished. Why, couldn't you bring Haku? Your voice is very annoying. And trust me, you don't want to fight that kid, only person that has a chance against that kid it's leader Samar the Sharingan kid. Kiss him raised a eyebrow, Zabuza admitting he can't beat someone and even they will have trouble now. Let's get out of here before their other sensei joins the fight. Let him come, I can take him. You probably can, but you will have to fight covering me. A huge thing in a battle is keeping your mind on your opponent. Something you won't be able to do. Kiss him nodded, picking Zabuza over his shoulder. He looked at the damage the kid did and thought. Naruto was it? We will fight. With that he was gone. A couple of miles away. A guy with binoculars was sitting in a tree watching the fight. He was wearing all black. He had a tiger Anbu mask on. Hokage-sama isn't going to like this one bit. With that the man disappeared back into the shadows. I know Kuni, Sarutobi cursed. So you telling me, a 14-year-old kid did all of that? Not only that he did it in one move, but you also mentioned something about a dojutsu. The ninja being asked was getting nervous. So many eyes on him. Why? Did he have to come when the Hokage was in the middle of a meeting with the council? Hi Hokage-sama, I didn't see it much to tell you the design. But that dojutsu was what helped him do all of that. Two things came out of his eyes before mixing. If I were to rank the technique, it will probably be a kinjutsu due to the fact that it takes so much chakra and the extreme exhaustion the kid felt. The jutsu itself is highest rank. You're dismissed. Said the Hokage. Sarutobi turned towards the council and saw that everybody had now taken an interest in the kid. He got questioned from every clan wanting marriage proposal and using him for power and making him mix with the sharingan. Which he had no idea how it will work since Sasuke was a boy. Perhaps we ask him when he comes back. Kumo no dot already found out the same as us. Back to topic, how can we kill the daimyo cat without him knowing? Pillar B was now outside. He tied a small note to his messenger bird before setting it free. So sending Konoha's secrets to your village, not very friendly is it? Said Kakashi. Now that he recovered he still walked around with a cane. What's the dealio? One IU. Kakashi sweet drop. Okay, just don't let me see something like that again. Pillar B frowned. You and I both know the reason for this mission, so don't act like you wouldn't have done the same thing. If I would have showed anything you wouldn't send them to your cage. In the word of ninja, nothing is more valuable than information. With that, Killer B disappeared in a cloud-like shushin. Which involve a dark cloud swirling around with rain and lining. So that's a cloud shushin, I'm glad I had my sharingan activated for it. With that he went back to reading his porn. Going over what Killer B said, if I would have showed anything you wouldn't send them to your cage. Is that why he didn't join the fight in Naruto's room? Sakura let out a sigh, man she been doing that a lot. She walked up to where Naruto was laying down. Sakura saw the small rise and fall of his chest and assumed he was asleep. She went to replace the warm towel on his head before she was stopped. I don't like when people touch me. Sakura was shocked. According to her medic book, he wasn't supposed to wake up for another 2 or 4 hours. But then again he was. Naruto-kun, you awake? We all been worry sick. Let me go get Kakashi-sensei. He wanted to be informed that you was awake as soon as it happened. With that Sakura ran out the room. Naruto, already knowing what Kakashi was going to ask, prepared for the reprimanding and Sasuke power-hungry mind, demanding to give them answers. So that's what really happened to Nagara and Kyuubi. Who would have thought that the sage Naruto thoughts was interrupted. Kakashi walked into the room. He stood over Naruto, not talking or moving. He observed his student. I run out of chakra and I'm still in clutches. He destroy half the landscape and already looks better than me. Naruto looked up at Kakashi. He hated this guy. All the beating he went through as he grew up, he could feel this guy's presence, but he never jumped in. In a way that was a great thing, for if that wouldn't have happened he wouldn't be what he was right now. So Naruto. What was that technique I heard about? Naruto paused, thinking for a minute. That was Kakashi-sen, a technique I've been working on. Naruto responded. Not much to go by, but Kakashi will understand, or would he? And where did you learn such a technique? Definitely not in the village. Guess he didn't understand. Naruto heard Kakashi continue. They also told me it was I-based. So I figured it was some kind of dojutsu. I presume this could be counted as treason. The village needs everything it needs, and you keeping that a secret could lead to very heavy consequences. Kakashi said. He knew what he was doing was wrong, but this seemed to be the only way he'll get anything out the kid. Tell me Kakashi, what's the story behind your sharingan? Kakashi narrowed his eyes at this. Nothing you should concern yourself with. Naruto pressed on. And how many people have heard this story? Naruto saw Kakashi stay quiet. I see, before you come to me spitting such hypocritical words you should teach yourself a lesson. For all the village know you could have killed Uchiha clan member and took his eyes. Naruto said. Kakashi's eyes widened at the truth in the young teen words. Naruto saw Kakashi stay silent before he took a pause and then continued. The story behind my jutsu and my dojutsu are none of yours or the village concern. Naruto finished, his eyes flashed to his Sika. Kakashi left Sharingan eye came in contact with it before he fell to his knees in pain. Kakashi felt like a million tiny needles were impaled into his eyes. What did you do? My eyes, they burn. Kakashi yelled. Naruto raised an eyebrow before looking more closely. He saw the Kakashi eyes have changed from their original red to black. They flashed between each other before settling down into his regular eyes. I would look into a mirror if I were you. Kakashi went to the corner of the room where a small mirror was hanging from. Kakashi raised his forehead protector and saw something he haven't seen since he was under Team Minato. Both his eyes were back to normal. He thought for a minute before channeling a small amount of chakra into his eyes before he closed them again. The small burn that followed was hurting him, but tolerable. He opened his eyes again and found out that now instead of one there were now two red eyes staring back at him. He looked again and saw that they revered back to their first stage, meaning only one coma in each eye. Consider this a gift, Kakashi. You should go train the team, they are pathetically weak. Compared to the Kumo team, those two are nothing. Naruto said. What have you down to me and what do you know of the Kumo team? Kakashi said. Entranced in what he was seeing, he no longer felt the strain of the Sharingan. It was almost like he'd become Uchiha, but the way he said they were stronger with such confidence would make you think he went out for tea with them every day. I made you body adapt to the foreign DNA, the fact that you now have two eyes got me by surprise, but we can't plan everything. Naruto laid back down. He had Kakashi right where he want him. Kakashi will no doubt want to ask question about what he did earlier on. Plus he also installed something special into those eyes, but why tell him that? Kakashi didn't notice Naruto didn't answer his second question. Kakashi was too lost in the moment to realize. Maybe you can unlock Sasuke Sharingan. Yes, then we can finally start the real training. Nope. Naruto said flatly. Kakashi let out a little bit of killing intent. Why not? This is the perfect opportunity. This can make Konoha so powerful we can destroy all the other nation. Kakashi was surprised when Naruto slammed him against the wall with his hands surrounding his neck. Listen here, you order me to do something as stupid as controlling other nation with my power again, and I will kill you, do you understand me? Naruto let Kakashi just as everybody in the house came in. It's everything alright, we heard a lot of rockets up here, we thought the enemy attacked. Said Sasuke. He had two shuriken in each hand connected to ninja wire, ready to do a fire jutsu at any minute. Killer Bee was leaning against the wall, one of his hand on the verge of taking out a katana. Team Samui already had weapon drawn. Sakura had a kunai in front of her in a defensive position by the door, prepared to let nobody get past her and hurt their client. Nothing, me and Kakashi were just having a talk. Right, Kakashi-san. Kakashi looked at Naruto distastefully. Yes, just a small talk. With that, Kakashi pushed past everybody. I'm going for a walk. Said Naruto, already heading out. Samui saw this as her opportunity to talk to the friendly blonde. Wait up, Naruto-san, can I join you? Naruto looked at the busty blonde before shrugging. Do as you please. Naruto walked out. Sakura eyes narrow. What does she want with my Naruto? Shen, since when was it our Naruto forgot about Sasuke? No, it's just what? You think he's cute and brave, Becuus, he defended you. Remember how he treated you? How he saved you in Kakashi test just to knock you out next. Remember Sakura, we can't trust him. Sakura thought about what her inner self said. What she said was true. Where did these feelings for Naruto start? Before suddenly having a flashback. 6 years ago. The 7-year-old Sakura was crying. She was crying Becuus, it was her birthday and nobody at school remembered. Her parents didn't have money so she couldn't throw a birthday party, and even if she could she had no friends to invite. She was walking home when she heard something. Why me? Nani, big forehead. Why you crying? You finally saw yourself in the mirror, or perhaps your family didn't want you at home, Becuus, you can't fit in your room. Said a no-name civilian kid. He was tall, a little bulky, and seemed to be missing some teeth. His hair was messy. He was wearing a white and yellow striped shirt, regular blue jeans and broken sneakers. Leave me alone, you big bully. Go grow some teeth or something. Sakura yelled. She immediately regretted it. The boy quickly approached her. Repeat that again. No response. I said repeat again, big head. If you don't, I will tell everybody at school that your mom and dad kick you out, Becuus, of your head size. Sakura paled. If she let that happen, she will be made fun of even more. I said grow some teeth. She said weakly. She was rewarded with a huge push that knocked her down. Ruining her pink dress her parents got her for her birthday. She hated her life. Why did this happen to her so much? She wanted nothing more but to walk away from it all, maybe move to another village. She looked up and saw that the kid had his fist raised, ready to install more damage. She closed her eyes waiting for the pain. She opened her eyes when nothing happened. Atlas to her. Sakura heard the impact of flesh meeting flesh, but she felt no pain. She was surprised to find a kid dressed in black standing in front of her taking the hit for her. She frowned a little when she saw it was that weird kid her mom told her to stay away from. "Are you okay?" spoke the kid. Too scared to speak, she nodded. Somehow, without turning his head, he understood. Naruto looked to where the kid fist was still planted against his cheek. "Hey, what's the big idea, scum? So a loser defending another loser? What is this world coming to? Maybe I can just beat the shit out of both of you." He pulled his fist back ready to hit Naruto again. After all, he hit him once right. He was in for a huge letdown when the kid ducked under his fist and elbowed his throat before quickly punching him in the face and finishing him off with an uppercut. Naruto pushed off his feet and smashed the top of his head onto the bottom of the kid's chin. The kid fell down with a thud. The tears quickly came when he noticed the pain he was in. He stumbled to his feet before running off yelling for his mom. Sakura was in a world of her own. Nobody has ever protected her except for her parents. "This kid, I think his name was Naruto," she smiled. Naruto slowly turned his face. His blue eyes met her green. Sakura cheeks turned pink when she saw how cute the kid was. The 3 whisker marks made him look cute, almost like a little Thai cat. She giggled. "Thanks for saving me, kitty cat-kun. Today's my birthday. But nobody at school knows. Hey, you wanna hang out with me at the park?" Naruto wanted to say yes, but knew he can't. He knew her parent will no doubt probably beat her. "No thanks, I have to go train." She looked down, sad that he refused. "Oh, okay, I understand." Getting off the floor, she turned around. Naruto saw her turn around. He let out a sigh. He digged into his pocket, pulling out a small green envelope. "Hey, you girl," he called out. She looked back and saw him behind her. "What does it want to make fun of me too?" Sakura finished already having enough of this teasing. "Here, it goes great with your eyes." With that, he placed the amulet in her hand. Sakura looked down and saw it was beautiful. She looked up about to thank him, but when she looked up she saw he wasn't there anymore. "Thank you." With that, she put the gift close to her heart and skipped home. Remembering this day as the first time a friend gave her a gift. When she made it to the academy the next day, she didn't see him. That's when she met Sasuke Uchiha, and the rest was history. Flashback end. Sakura was in the room by herself now. She was looking at the small amulet Naruto gave her that she made a necklace out of. Naruto-kun. Naruto and Samui were walking along the coast, side by side, each looking into the deep ocean that surrounded the village. "You know, when I first met you, I knew there was something familiar about you. But who would have thought you would look so handsome after all these years?" Naruto looked at her from the corner of his eyes. He closed his eyes. Remember how he met Samui? Who would have thought he would do so much for a stranger? But still quiet. "I guess you haven't changed, still the mysterious wondering kid. You know, I never did thank you for what you did that day." She looked at him and saw he was listening, but he seemed to not want to do nothing else but listen. "You know, Naruto, there was something I wanted to tell you before you had to leave." Taking a huge breath of air, she prepared to say it. "Naruto, I..." "Stop it right there," said Naruto. Samui's heart sank thinking this was him turning her down. "You know it's rude to follow a ninja. Unless you like to be killed." A shadow popped out of the bush. Samui was surprised to find it was Killer Bee. "Hey, Mr. 9, walking around this lovely night with a beautiful girl, seems like you're doing alright." Naruto faced palm. "Not even after all these years, and you still talk in whack lyrics." Samui let out a giggle at the interaction. "They haven't changed a bit. You know, I think I enjoyed it better when you was quiet a minute ago." Samui joked. "Oh yeah, what were you planning on telling me?" said Naruto. He heard her say something, but he was too busy sensing Killer Bee chakra. "Nothing. So what have you been up to since you left all those years ago?" Quickly changing the subject. Naruto raised an eyebrow. "Nothing but what has been going on with Cloud." Naruto has kept in contact with these two since he last met them. Which was about 4 years ago. When he first met his organization, but that was a different story. "Nothing much, but Raikage-sama has been building up his forces. He pretty much already pressured B to master the 8 tails and is already planning on have Yu-Gi-Oh! Nai start the same training. He's keeping things very under wraps. Nothing of importance except for that other thing that I heard in a mission report that a new village named Sound is being formed." "I see, and who is the leader of this village?" said Naruto. "Killer Bee took this one. The guy named Orochimaru." Killer Bee took this question for a reason innocuous. As soon as Naruto heard the name, his black wings spread out. "Orochimaru, I'll kill you. I will never forgive you for what you did to Hermione-chan." Samui and B hid behind a tree. The amount of power Naruto was releasing was beyond normal. They released a sigh when it disappeared. They peeked through the tree and saw that Naruto was now knocked out, laying on the floor. Must have not been fully recovered. Come on Samui-chan, let's take him back home for he can get some sleep. Next morning, Naruto woke up. His hands still clenched from the anger he felt. He got up and looked through his window. He saw that both team were outside. He put on his cloth and went outside. Arriving, he saw that Sasuke and Sakura were both going for some stretching exercise. He went next to a tree and relentlessly began to pound on it. 30 minutes later the tree was dent in with many fist imprints. Naruto jumped into the air before delivering a mighty kick that caused the tree to timber over. "What did the tree ever do to you?" came the sing-song voice of Kakashi. He was hanging upside down from a branch looking at his team practice. He jumped off doing a small front flip to straighten himself. The one-eye scarecrow landed perfectly on his face since he forgot he wasn't 100% battle ready, so his feet gave out when he touched the floor. Dusting himself off, Kakashi got back up with a little bit of pride he got left. He faced his team. "Okay students. Today we will be climbing trees." Sakura had a massive sweet drop placed in the back of her head. Sasuke raised a single eyebrow at this. Naruto was too busy holding his right arm to notice what the Cyclops said. Seeing his team wasn't following him, Kakashi tried a different approach. "Let me rephrase that, today I will teach you important chakra control technique." Kakashi walked to the nearest tree. He planted one leg then the other then kept repeating those steps. He was now horizontal to the ground as he climbed upward. The whole point of the technique is to keep a very even amount of chakra on the heel of your shoes. The much chakra the bark will break to little of a amount and you will slide off. Understand? "Hi, Kakashi-sensei." "Kakashi," came the reply from Sasuke and Sakura. Kakashi looked at Naruto and saw he was fidgeting his right hand. "Were you listening to me, Naruto?" Kakashi asked. Naruto snapped out of it when he heard his name mentioned. He had to go now. "Excuse me sensei, but I have to go pee." Kakashi narrowed his eyes. "Come over here Naruto, what's wrong with your right arm?" Naruto's patience was growing thin. He knew what was going to happen if he didn't get far away from them, and when he said far he meant far away. He hated when this thing did that. "That is not of importance, but if I don't leave now I will not be responsible for what happens to you." Naruto managed to growl out. The pain was getting more sharp and intense. He was trying to hold it off as much as he could, but he was running low on willpower. Kakashi wasn't satisfied. "Why? You would tell me what is wrong with you right now," Kakashi demanded. The whole team was taken by surprise when a huge power surge was felt from Naruto. They was forced to cover their eyes when his chakra started to pick up rocks and throw debris everywhere. Naruto was having a mental fight with his chakra to stabilize it. This never happened before and when it did it was usually his arm only. "What the hell is happening?" he shouted mentally. Sukyun was scared. She knew what was happening. She just hopes Naruto is able to survive. Naruto took a big leap into the air, his wings spread out behind him. Trying to get as much room between him and Tazuna house as he could. He arrived at a clearing a couple hundred meters away. He let his wings rest back into his shoulder blades with a sickening swift. He panted as he put his hand to his knees to keep from collapsing. He felt a sting in his eyes as his eyes flashing between crimson red to blue before they settle on his sekai. His breath became hitch as his body tried hopelessly to take in air. He was sent to his knees when he felt the pain attack his right forearm where his tattoo was placed. He gritted his teeth, refusing to give in to the pain. His chest fell heavily up and down and his eyes dilated with one last pulse of unbelievable pain. Naruto fell on his face unconscious. Naruto looked around and saw that he was in a very dark void. He was surprised to look down and saw a huge blue marble-looking ball. If Naruto knew one thing was that he was no longer in wave country. For that matter, Naruto knew he was not nowhere near Earth. "I'm glad we finally meet. Come here Naruto." Naruto looked to his left and saw a figure in the distance. He followed the voice. He was surprised to find a man with fair skin complexion. He seemed to be wearing traditional samurai armor. He was completely surrounded by gold fire that licked off him every now and then. Naruto could make out a huge katana strapped to his back that seemed to be alive since the wind kept spinning around it. And I know no wind in space, but this is fanfic. But what really caught Naruto's attention was the man's eyes. They were the same as his. "Hello young one, you might know me as Fudo the god of fire, but you can call me Father." Naruto's eyes widened. This couldn't be. Could it? What if Naruto has golden wings? Council bashing. Thanks for watching my video till the end. If you enjoy this content, then do consider subscribing to my channel and leave a like if you guys need the next part. Comment down and thanks for watching the video and see you guys in the next video.